Okay, guys, alternate ending. Take 43.
With so many movies on the net and TV, it's kinda hard being up and film savvy. Do you catch a show while you're on the go? And how do you know what to keep or what to throw? How do you know what to keep or what to throw? Tune in to alternate ending. Tune in to alternate ending. Tune in to alternate ending. Tune in to alternate ending now. Please give a warm welcome to the hosts of Alternate Ending.
Welcome to Alternating. We're discovering good movies, one bad movie at a time. I'm film school dropout Rob Jarsinski. Across from me is our casual moviegoer, Kara Jarsinski. And joining us in studio is our very own critic in residence, Tim Brayton, with Suicide Squad. Does it have another name? Because there was a Suicide Squad.
This is the Suicide Squad.
Okay, the Suicide Squad coming back to theaters.
It's not just any Suicide Squad. It is the Suicide Squad.
It's coming back with a even, I don't know, dare I say better ensemble? I guess you're replacing a Will Smith.
There's a lot of lateral moves in this ensemble, I would say.
But, we realized, we went back to the records and we realized we'd never done a top 5 ensembles.
So this seems like a crazy oversight.
Yeah, it seems like something that we likely would have done early on. But no, we've been waiting for the Suicide Squad. So we're going to get to that in just a bit. But first we start with a little bit worth mentioning, things that we've been watching. But I understand that you two had some stories.
Well, I think first we start with a little bit of a mea culpa and a little bit of a.
That's right. This is a bit late.
Flogging ourselves with the wet noodle.
This podcast is a bit tardy.
Not that we're in the business of blaming or pointing fingers, but if you had to say who is the most at fault, who would you say?
I would say you. I always say you, Carrie. I
don't feel that way. That's what I thought you might say.
You think things will always work out, and then you go down a path, and then it's like, nope, that's not going to work. So you should have just done the harder thing first.
Yeah,
it was the right thing.
You know what the harder thing was? Recording at 11 p.m. like I said on Sunday,
which would have still not worked out because you had not seen the film.
Oh right. That was the problem.
We are not only behind in this podcast. Carrie and I are a teensy bit behind on our fulfillments of Patreons and lives.
I think you're both kindly blaming each other. I think really we can agree it's the Patreon in question.
It's Gavin's fault.
Yeah.
This is Gavin's fault. I feel so much better. Gavin, this is your fault that it's late. Listeners,
I think
it's Gavin's fault.
When you make these two yahoos watch a 3-hour movie, I mean, that's a choice you made. These people can't make it through a television episode without their attention wandering.
This is very true. I watched it over multiple days, and I would like to say many obstacles were put in my place. And you know what? I just kept crawling through those barriers. I was like, you know what? I don't have a DVD player. I'm going to find one. And then I was like, oh, you know what?
Well, let's start at the beginning. It's the Saragosa Manuscript, gifted to us by Patreon, Gavin, and not easy to track down.
No, it's not.
Not available on streaming.
Here's the thing. He gave me a link to stream it. I think it was porn, and I still used it. And then I got to the spot where they wanted me to pay for the porn, and I was like, I don't think it
is like porn because
this.
I think in the in hotel rooms, right, you can watch like the first few minutes of a movie.
That's what it let me do.
Yeah, that is very
I
much
had
like
no idea that's how it worked.
Yeah.
But because
I would not have any reason to access that knowledge.
I haven't watched hotel porn. This is a fact. I have never watched hotel porn.
And to be honest,
I think that makes two of us.
And to be honest, after 5 minutes, do you really need to pay then?
Well, it depends what happens.
I mean,
I don't get what you're saying. Have you watched hotel porn?
Doesn't take long.
Oh, I see what you're saying. That's super disturbing. But have you actually purchased it? You can cut this out. Oh, yes, that's your live face.
No, I haven't purchased hotel porn.
No, he downloads it from the internet.
Like a normal person.
Why are you paying for porn?
Yeah.
I see.
And it's like
when you can
terribly
go to
overpriced.
Brazzers.com for the cost of just logging into the Wi-Fi.
Okay. So I was unclear on that. But to go back to the request, then when I went to go do it, here's the thing. Because I haven't watched hotel porn as much as I should have, I didn't know that that's what happens. So I kept restarting it and retrying, and then it kept freezing again.
Out of curiosity, what was the price on the site?
It was $5.
Wow.
But here's the thing. This is what...
that's probably at least 4/5 of the money you spend on the gas to come to my house to get the DVD.
It wasn't about the money. It came down to Rob will be really mad if I crash my computer by Russian hackers. I was like, you know what? This is the way they do it. So I tried to do the right thing. I drove all the way to Tim's, an hour in the traffic, got the DVD player, played it.
Oh, yeah, well, you were driving there and you realized you're picking up a DVD, and because you haven't gifted me my Christmas gift of a PS5.
Yeah, I had the
we
foresight.
don't have anywhere to
So I had to borrow Tim's, and then I had to like worry about what was on that controller.
Need that back, by the way,
I know. I don't worry. I sanitized your controller because I just had question marks about, that as well. So I got
a lot
home.
of Mass Effect being played, Tim, on that PlayStation.
That's you have access to it. I hope you made good use of it.
I don't know what that is, but then we watched it. This movie is just so long. So then
3 hours and 3 minutes.
We took multiple days to watch it. I was like on and off, and every time I'd restart it, I was like, have I seen this before? I don't know. So I'd rewatch.
Also 3 hours. My understanding is with a very complicated, multi-part nested narrative.
You're telling
that's
me.
Like the thing it's known for.
You are telling me. We'll get there.
You compared it to like Inception, Care, a little bit. A little bit.
Did I?
I think you did.
I don't know. I might have been drinking then. It's hard to say. I did whatever methods I could to get through it. I just started drinking and things got crazy.
I forget what extremely intelligent film critic said this. It might have been Andrew Saris. Basically said, you won't understand the plot the first time you watch the movie.
Well, no one watches that twice.
Can you confirm that is the case?
We will get there. So thank you to Gavin for this episode being late again. But other than
you, Gavin.
that,
thank you for being a Patreon.
Thank you for being a Patreon. Thank you. You should be a Patreon if you're not, because we also
then we'll verbally abuse you
exactly on the air. So that said. Other than that, it's been a crazy bonkers week with our kids. Right now, spirits are running real high. We're really excited because our kids are gone. My parents took them for 3 whole days. So this is going to be your first 7-hour episode. Here you go.
Well, I wasn't too terribly upset to lose to have this be delayed, because I was spending my weekend doing an arts and craft project, and it really, really got away from me, and I had some trouble, and there's some plaster in my house, so it's probably just as well for me.
Oh, like a physical arts and crafts. Yeah, like
project. I was so my 2-year anniversary with my partner is coming at the end of this month, and I wanted to make him something for anniversary.
Wait. I can tell you what he would want after knowing him now. Is it cross stitch?
No. Plaster is not involved in the creation.
Oh, it was plaster. Oh, are you doing a mold of your hand?
I'm almost doing a mold of my hand.
Oh.
I'm doing a mold of my erect penis, and I'm making a dildo for him for our anniversary.
That's nice.
Isn't it? Yeah. I think it's a sweet thing.
I was planning on doing that when we renew our vows, but
I think when there's never a wrong time.
And when I say do that, I mean you get a plaster.
Well,
of
you
your
want
penis.
it to you want it to like look like something. You don't want a little 2-inch like baby carrot dildo.
So, but really, what are you really getting him though?
I'm really getting him a dildo shaped like my own penis.
Is it for like to put on a desk? Is it like a jewelry
if that's what
stand?
he wants to do with it. It's wherever he wants to put it.
This isn't something that people actually can do.
Well, yes. So if you do decide you want to do this when you renew your vows, Rob, let me be the voice of experience. It's very difficult. It is shockingly difficult. I bought a product called Clone a Willy, which is a kit that includes a tube. And in my case, I bought the Clone a Willy with the scrotal attachment.
Of course.
Because you need it to flare out. You can't make a dildo with no base. Otherwise, it gets lost up there. And I'm sure you know
I actually
about that,
don't
Carrie.
know what you're talking about. So, all right. Here's what we're going to do right now. Tim, that sounds like a great gift. Okay, now I have so many questions. Okay, so now we'll just cut from this point, okay? Because I don't even know how to process all the questions that I have, but I can't say these in a public forum, okay?
Yes, you sure
so
can.
I think I wrapped that up nicely back there.
Yeah, but you marked
cut,
it.
Okay,
we'll cut right back in.
Cut
here.
back. What are you talking about? Okay.
Where are we start? What have I not? What have I said
go
that has been
from
cut?
scrotal base.
Scrotal base.
What is a scrotal base?
So when
you want to know which way is up otherwise, right?
You don't know which way is up. If you get too vigorous, and this goes for ladies as well.
Yeah.
So you need to be, this is knowledge that's useful to you, Carrie. If you put it up there too far, you can't pull it back out. So you need something that you need a natural stopper.
Yeah.
So wait. Wait, you're not recording this, right? Okay.
No, not at all.
So are you talking about balls?
Yes.
So there's a ball stopper.
A ball. I have a ball.
Right, but you still have the other ball.
I still have the fleshy sac where it once lived.
So,
yes.
but are you going to get that and it'll just...
Yeah, I'm pressing that into the... So you use what's called alginate, which is a type of very flexible mold.
Okay.
And this is, if you were making like your hands clasped, you would use alginate. The product that comes with the Clone-A-Willy is...
This is branding.
This is what
It's
they
a real
call
thing.
it. It's a real
It
thing.
is, you're Googling it?
It's funny. I don't want to get these weird ads, so I just hit clone a will, and then it comes up, and then there's a coupon. So if you like, I can get. You've already ordered.
Well,
but
here's the
maybe
thing.
for me.
Here's the thing.
Oh my gosh, I have so many questions.
The alginate they sell is not really great because you have to use very specific temperatures and it sets too hard. So you pour it into this codpiece shaped plastic tube, and then basically you have to very quickly both be aroused
But how are you
enough
going to be aroused? You're by yourself.
to penetrate. Use pornography. So
Okay.
you have to penetrate into the tube full of what basically has oatmeal consistency and is rapidly cooling.
Oh yeah,
And you have to
oatmeal
stay
does it for me.
fully aroused for 2 minutes until the alginate sets. That's very difficult to do. So I also had to invest. I've spent so much money on this goddamn thing because the Clone-A-Willy set is like $70. Then I had to buy cock rings to like.
What is
It's what allows you to not like completely lose your state of arousal while you are fucking a bowl of oatmeal. Again, for some people such as Rob,
Yeah, don't need it.
You don't
Yeah.
need it.
No.
I found 2 minutes was a goddamned eternity. Plus, apparently the liquid silicone that comes with the Clone-A-Willy set, according to the reviews online, very hard. In the wrong way, like too hard. So I had to invest in like dildo quality silicone from a silicone manufacturer. So I basically bought the entire kit twice. So Rob, when you do want to make one, talk to me and I will walk you through the process of what
I
you
will
should
use
buy.
it for bracelets and jewelry maybe, but...
And you did this all through our Amazon banner, I'm hoping.
No, because I had to go directly to the silicone manufacturer.
Oh gosh.
Okay, last two questions I have on this. So, wow. Okay, so I don't even really know how to process. So you're saying... I actually don't know if I have any questions. I'm melting.
Are you
Better not to ask. Well, what a lovely gift and happy
I think
early
it's nice.
anniversary.
Well, thank you. And
yeah.
hopefully he sometimes listens to the show. Hopefully this isn't one he's going to listen to.
Yeah.
Oh, this is what I was going to ask about. Is it a cod ring?
Cock.
Cock.
Cock is a
Cock
euphemism
ring.
for the male genitalia.
Is that, where does that go? Is
Where
that
do
like,
you think it goes?
I mean, is it
It
in,
goes on your little finger.
but I mean, is it in the middle? Is it at the end?
Well, because you do not want an impression of the ring in the molded dildo, you wrap it around the base of your balls.
Oh, so wrap. I'm picturing like a ring toss. Like you just put it on there.
The one I got was more of like a little cravat, those little Western like bow ties that you
Oh, yeah,
Not
yeah.
picturing your penis with a bow tie.
It's
that's
fetching.
cute.
We should maybe take a photograph for our Patreons.
That'd be great. My next question and last question is, are you able to be like, you submit it and then you're like, hey, maybe just give me a little boost. Like, can you, for a little extra cost, could you add a
Oh
couple
no, because I'm
inches?
making it all myself.
But maybe in the end, they could be like, well, we can
There's no
modify.
end. There's just it dries and
I mean, yeah,
It's there.
So there's no modifications
there's no
you
real
can do.
chance to do a modification. No.
I see. Interesting.
if
That
you need
feels like
if you need like a stunt double or a stunt penis, let me know.
I'll have to let you know because
Here's the
I've ordered all of the stuff. It hasn't shown up yet, so I haven't had a chance to make the proper one. I made 3 molds, every one of which went wrong. So I'm just sitting there. I'm humping a tube full of cooling plaster, and it's not going well.
Are you comfortable sharing the F up
Clearly,
molds
I
with me?
am.
No, but like, will you
Oh no, I
share
threw
with
them out. Well,
Oh, you did?
alginate
Okay.
is non-stable.
Are you comfortable sharing the finished product with us?
No.
Okay, is that too personal?
Yes.
I'm just curious what it looks like, I guess.
apparently do have a level beyond which I cannot go, and somehow I did not pass it now, but I now know what it would
You
be.
now know the boundary.
Ooh,
Okay.
interesting philosophical question, I guess. More comfortable being naked in front of us or sharing the dildo in
obviously
your...
I would rather show you a photograph of my dildo than of
Yes.
myself.
Interesting.
What about you?
No, I think that's right, but it's just interesting because it's like it would
What's
be-
really trippy is that the Amazon product review page, people have put photographs of their finished product.
Okay, that doesn't
So-
count as pornography.
So it apparently doesn't count as pornography, or maybe Amazon just sells porn now.
Well, that would be like, it's art at that point, I guess, like the Statue of David.
Would you
some of
ever
them
do
are.
this?
I mean, if you would want.
I don't even
that.
know. Again, I don't know.
It's for those long trips away when you two are separated and
That's when I throw on
I was gonna say,
HGTV.
if you somehow
Just
go long enough that you miss Rob, then that would be when you would.
I just can't foresee myself leveraging that there thing. But you never know. I mean, maybe I need experience.
Well, let's flip this around for Rob. Clone Willy also makes Clone Vulva.
Pocket
Sold.
vagina?
Sold.
Clone a vulva?
Yes.
Oh, that's
create a
You would
cast,
want a pocket vulva
a cast
of
of the
mine?
surface of the female genitalia that you can then place atop a masturbation sleeve.
Sure.
I don't even know what that is either.
So many products out there.
Silicone sheaths that you use to facilitate the act of manual stimulation of the genitals without. You can grip too hard, and that's bad. So there are devices.
Of course that's bad. You don't want to grip too hard.
There are devices out there to prevent you from gripping too hard.
We'll just have some self-control. I'm Googling all of this later. Okay, Rob, sorry, we're off track. Okay, now I'm going to bring us back in.
Yeah.
Okay, you ready?
Oh yeah. Now we're cutting back in.
Cut back in. Okay.
Sure.
Welcome back to Alternate Ending.
Carrie's learned a lot in the
We've
last
learned so much. We've
17
ruined-
minutes or so.
We've ruined Carrie's innocence.
I have so much. I'm appreciative of you sharing.
Tim,
yeah.
with all your gift making, have you had time to watch any movies?
I have watched the movies.
Yeah. Is this while plastering?
In a sense, yes.
Other than porn.
I think it is fair to say I was watching movies.
What else have you been? What else have you has caught
I've
your
seen some
attention?
real movies. The one I'm going to be bringing to the table is Disney's Jungle Cruise.
Oh, good. Yes, I caught that as well with the kiddos. So happy to jump on board the Jungle Cruise with you. Let's see. I've seen a bunch too. What am I going to talk about? Karen and I just saw The Craft: A New Legacy last night. I saw Jolt, which I preferred to Gunpowder Milkshake.
Well, there's
That's
room
a
to
low
both
bar.
have preferred it
Right.
and also for it to be bad.
Yes.
So
I saw Spirit Untamed. I saw Saragossa Manuscript.
How is Spirit Untamed?
So it's a prequel to the TV show, and they got A-level talent to voice it. Although I don't think they're really great voice artists. It's not good. It's basically a long episode of the Spirit cartoon.
Okay, because
not good.
I was unaware until the movie came out that there was a Spirit cartoon. I thought it was a
Jake
sequel to the
Gyllenhaal,
original.
Julianne Moore, Walter Goggins.
I do like those
It's good
people.
stuff,
Those are
but
good people.
no, not good. Also saw Werewolves Within and Creep 2. What am I bringing? I feel like I have strong feelings about The Craft: A New Legacy. I know it's late to the table,
But if it's what you care about, then you should talk
I
about it.
feel most passionate about that. So I'd like to discuss that with you all.
Okay.
And Kara, you're bringing Saragossa.
I'm going to bring the old SM and talk a little bit about that. And then I saw bits and pieces of the movies that you mentioned, but not enough that I feel comfortable reviewing them. So yeah, I'm going to go with Saragossa Manuscripts.
Well, hit us.
Oh,
We're
Yeah,
talking
you
about it.
first.
Oh,
This
sorry.
is the time.
Honestly, I'm very distracted right now. I'm very distracted. Okay.
I'll zip up. I'm sorry.
That's
Well, what's great about the Saragossa Manuscript is usually, subtitle movies, a bit of a roadblock
Bit
for
of a
us
slog, yeah.
often. But hey, it was in Polish.
It was in your
my
native tongue.
Yes.
Your native tongue. That became a huge roadblock for me. And I'll tell you why. I have spent years honing in on the craft of tuning out that language.
Yeah.
And for me, it was really hard to follow. Not only because it was hard to follow, but then it became hard to follow because of the Polish
Because
white
you
noise.
have such intense negative reactions to the sound of Polish.
For
being spoken.
sure. And I know some of what they're saying. I was just like, all the swears and all the sexual innuendos covered.
You know what's really hard about seeing a movie in a foreign language that you actually know? Like when they're speaking Polish, it's really hard to suspend my disbelief that they're not Polish because they're playing characters from like Spain. Right? Is that right?
I haven't seen the movie.
Oh, you haven't seen the movie?
I haven't seen the movie.
So it's from another country, and I'm like, oh yeah, they're not Polish, they're Spanish, or.
But I mean, is it?
It's no different.
It's no different.
It is
Yeah.
no different. But for
But
some reason,
I get it.
Yeah, it's just like hearing Polish makes me think Polish. That person's
Well, like
Polish.
I was recently trying to sell somebody on the movie Agira, the Wrath of God, and their objection was that they didn't think that conquistadors should speak German. And I was like, do you think they should be speaking English? Because it's the same thing.
Exactly. It's my own thing, but it was just like
I get
an
it.
interesting observation that I had while watching it. But go ahead,
All right.
Kara. Hit us with the plot.
Okay, here's what happens. It's sort of, I haven't done my letterbox. I still have to hone it a little bit, but I would say, tell me if you guys track with me on this. It's sort of like a little bit like a Pride and Prejudice meets Gypsies. Okay, if you were to infuse those things.
Are we allowed to say gypsies anymore?
Are you? Oh, you're
I
not?
think so.
Romani.
Shoot. Wait, what is it? Romanis?
I even explained this to you.
Yeah, but I thought you said you
So-
can't say gyp.
In Well, you also can't say that.
But you can say gypsies, right? How about traveling women of the night?
How about the filthy Magyar scum? Who should be wiped clean from
much
the
better.
earth like the cockroaches they are.
Quick side note, in Polish, gypsy means liar.
Yeah.
That's
Interesting.
One of the reasons we're not supposed to use that word.
Wait,
Exactly.
so tell me again what I'm calling them.
Filthy Magyar scum who should be wiped from the face of the earth like the cockroaches they are.
So what Tim just said meets a bunch of sort of like hornball dudes who like make plaster dildos on their free time.
I know a few. Yeah.
I know a few who wear ponytail wigs and sort of prance around, and they have this book that they're interested in because there's some cool pictures.
Is it the Saragosa Manuscript?
It is.
Okay.
I would compare this to if Richard Linklater were to write a movie about the Spanish Inquisition. That is this movie summed up.
So it's two battling, I believe, sides in the Napoleonic War. They come across one side.
I love that you're trying to
one person
describe
comes
this.
across the manuscript.
Uh-huh.
And
But they're both
is
into
about
it.
to get arrested by the other side.
Mhm.
And it's like, and then they both start looking and reading over. And he's like, "Hey, this is
it's
actually
kind of 1,001 Nights going
yes."
on.
And then he says, "Oh, this is actually my grandfather. This is about my grandfather. This is my grandfather's manuscript." And then cut to back in time,
Like
following
lots of
the grandfather's
makeouts. Yeah.
story, where he takes like a shortcut and bumps into who? Two Moorish princesses.
Of course.
Yeah.
And they're
that's what it is.
lovely. They're quite lovely.
We're also Polish, but Moorish, but it was really messing with me. It's really messing with me.
Really messing with you. So then there's that. And
They
then
say, "Hey, we're cousins."
cousins.
Yeah. And we should marry because we
Yeah.
should let our
But one is,
namesake
Purity of their
live on.
Polish
Yeah,
Moorish
exactly.
bloodline.
Yes.
Yes.
this is too complicated to actually explain everything that goes into this movie. It is then becomes broken up into multiple parts of the story. And then there's an old guy talking to another old guy and telling him his story. And then he
They keep wanting him to drink from
Very, very, very evocative noise there.
They keep wanting him to drink from a skull
thing,
goblet.
but I think you get dry. Is it alcohol that's in
I
there?
don't think so. I think
You don't
it's
think
I
so?
think it's something a little bit more serious.
A little
in there.
stronger?
Yeah.
Like a hallucination?
Well, because we don't know,
thing?
we're led to believe perhaps they're ghosts or something, or you're not really sure what's going on.
Yes.
Yeah, I was really confused by the plot of this.
How many nests, how many layers deep does the plot go?
I was just going to say, I don't know. It's filled with a lot of, like you said, nesting of different stories. And then it's hard to know which story is intertwined with which other
I don't
story.
think more than 3. I think it caps out at 3.
There's the one guy who kind of is a little bit good looking. He was my favorite plot line for sure. I can't think of his name right now, but he's got an extra nice ponytail. He looks a little more put together than the rest of them. So I liked following him. But then, yeah, the women are all just after these dudes too. Like, are they after them because they want money?
No. I think it's more like demonic, something more demonic than that.
Huh.
But I don't know if there's a monetary aspect. I don't know if he's hallucinating or if these are ghosts or.
Okay.
I don't know if you're even meant to know or supposed
I think
to
you're not
care.
also supposed to know what are dreams versus what is reality, and then sort of what ends up. I don't want to spoil the end.
Whew, no,
Can
don't
you
do
spoil
that.
the end?
I don't know. Here's all I'm going to say. I think there's a little bit of a loop happening. Maybe
Interesting take.
it takes you back to
Okay.
the beginning. Maybe.
I gotta say, all the plot aside, which for me made no sense. It is beautiful to look at. It's black and white, but it's shot so well, especially for the time. There were a couple things I didn't know if it was the transfer, but it almost it goes out of focus in certain things that I caught, but I didn't know if that was the transfer or that was intentional or.
Focus would probably not be the transfer, but it could have been just an accident of how it was shot. 'Cause
Okay.
It was
It was in longer takes as the subject approached or something, and you would normally
Sure.
that would require some sort of an adjustment. But it looks but other than that, just really well shot. I think this got notoriety for being a very expensive Polish film for its time.
So many people.
3 times more than any other Polish film at the time was made, and more recently brought to light thanks to folks like Martin Scorsese, who went on a
DVD
Polish
that I lent
journey.
you. So that's the irony. I lent you this DVD that I own. I have not seen this movie because it's 3 hours long. Who has 3 hours? But it was part of Scorsese's World Cinema Foundation restored a whole chunk of Polish films, and this was one of those.
Yeah, and it's rated one of the best movies, movie you must see before you die kind of thing. And this is the kind of movie where I watch, I'm I just don't get it. I just don't.
Well, you
What
got to
am I
watch it
missing?
twice. So
I
how
guess
about you
I
watch
need
it
to.
again for the
Yeah.
next episode, and then we'll talk about your second.
Yeah, this is the kind of movie where I'm like, we got to just shut Patreon down.
We're cinephiles fawn over it, and I just don't like. It's like I want to be there with
I
y'all.
need to ask Gavin if he loved this movie or if
I'm
it was
assume so.
a punishment. That's what I need to know. It's
Yeah.
riding both lines for sure.
Yeah, I think they're trying to get us to like. I think it's like it's a translation. Like they're trying to
Sometimes-
get us to
sometimes.
understand their language.
I think that's what people were doing when they gave us that one with the two ladies dancing and you really liked it. What's the one?
The Conformist.
No, the French film with the ladies that dance a lot and it's really bright colors and everything's
Umbrellas
pink.
of Cherbourg.
Yes. I think that was an attempt to make us like something that was good.
Well, that Umbrellas of Cherbourg was me, and so was Young Girls of Rochefort.
Yes, both of
I like
those.
both of those.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I don't, this one
I
is
will
different.
say I haven't seen the film, and I'm hoping to. Once I get the DVD back, I feel like I should. So those of you who follow me on Letterboxd, which I know includes Gavin, you'll see my thoughts hopefully in the next couple of weeks there. So I haven't seen the film, so I'm talking from ignorance. I think the people who love the film would say that the complexity of the narrative and the what in the hell is going on is part of what they love about it. In the same way that people love like Inception because it's a puzzle that you solve.
Okay.
So I think actually the comparison to Inception is probably very on point.
All right. Well,
See, that was you,
thanks.
Care, who said
What?
I think said that.
Did I?
Yeah.
That seems. Gosh, yeah, I did. Yeah, I did say that. So thank you, Gavin, for this choice, and thank you for this choice.
You're still.
I'm hearing 3.5 from Carrie and 4.5 from Rob.
We're in the
Still
it's in the
sitting on it.
ballpark.
Still sitting on it. All right, Tim, tell us about what you saw this week.
So I saw Disney's newest adaptation of one of their theme park properties. Was meant to come out in the fall of 2019, then was meant to come out in the summer of 2020. Of course, the pandemic happened and kicked it off till now, the summer 2021. This is Jungle Cruise, based on the opening day Disneyland ride where you get on a rickety old steamboat and you putter through the Amazon and the Nile and the Congo and the Mekong rivers and see audio animatronic animals. This is all set in the Amazon. It is the story of a British lady scientist who is shocking the male science academy by wearing pants.
She wears pants.
They talk about pants a lot. They are really they want us to understand that it's weird for a lady to wear pants. So she wears pants into the Amazon, and her pants wearing just causes all sorts of trouble. But what she's really doing, and she's played by Emily Blunt, I should say, she wants to find the magical fairy tree or whatever that will cure everything. And so she hires a rickety old steamboat captained by The Rock, by Dwayne Johnson, who in the first scene of the movie that we see him in, he's giving a tour of the jungle on his steamboat to a bunch of nonplussed tourists, and he's dispensing a lot of corny puns about all the things he's seeing on the river, which is the ride. So for a good chunk of the movie, about 8 minutes there at the beginning, it's really just exactly recreating the ride. After it's done doing that, it basically turns into Pirates of the Caribbean, where Emily Blunt and Dwayne Johnson and Emily Blunt's brother, played by, I think, Jack Whitehall, are chugging down the Amazon, and they're being chased by an insane German played by Jesse Plemons.
So good.
Unquestionably the best part of the
Best.
movie, right?
Yeah.
Like there's not even a debate that Jesse Plemons is the best part of the movie.
Oh, I love him so
He
much.
runs away with
Someone
that film.
asked, is he as good in this as he was in Game Night? And it's just so hard to compare the two because I really love the Game Night performance.
Game Night took me by surprise. By this point, I come to expect good things from Jesse Plemons.
Yeah.
So I would probably give Game Night the edge.
Yeah, I would, but it's
Is he a big part of the movie?
Not nearly big enough.
not enough.
Maybe
More-
20
yeah,
minutes.
Yeah. It's the best
It's the
part.
best 20
yeah,
minutes.
Best 20 minutes for sure.
He's doing this crazy over the top German accent. It's wonderful. But yeah, so it's basically the movie falls into two parts. The first part is Dwayne Johnson and Emily Blunt on the river bantering. The second part is just a carbon copy of Pirates of the Caribbean. And I will say, I rather liked that first part when it was the two of them on the river. I didn't buy their romantic chemistry. The film is trying to make it seem like they're going to become a romantic couple. Didn't believe it for a second. But I enjoyed the banter. I enjoyed their separate performances perhaps more than I enjoyed them performing together. But the separate
100%
performances worked
agree.
very well.
100% agree. Really, they're very charismatic individuals. Carrie, I think you would really like this
I think so too.
Really?
film. Like, it really wants to be like a female Indiana Jones,
Yeah.
The Mummy. I got a
There's
lot
for
of the
sure some
Mummy. I know you.
There's
Yeah,
for sure some of the Mummy.
There's Mummy in here.
I like Mummy.
I think you'd really like it. I saw the same positives and negatives as you, Tim. for me, the sum of its parts rank a little bit higher. Like
Sure.
I'm probably more at like a 3.5 because I just really enjoyed it. You'd love the Rock's terrible puns, which are played for laughs.
The puns are
Love
great.
terrible
Yeah.
puns.
And the puns, I mean, I love the Jungle Cruise. That's one of my favorite rides at Disney, and the puns are a big part of the reason why. I will say, I don't want to go into spoilers. We learned something. I looked at the clock at 67 minutes. That really pissed me off. I was at 3 stars, and then we learned something about one of the characters, and I was like, that is dumb bullshit. And I dropped immediately down to 2.5 and did not budge from it thereafter.
Yeah, that was it. I was
You know
not.
what he's talking
Yes,
about?
I was not expecting that.
Give me a
Yeah,
me a
no,
clue.
no, I
Give me a
can't. I'm not going to
clue.
give you
He's
a
not
clue.
gonna do that.
Yeah, I'm not
No,
gonna
if
do
I
it.
guess it, will you
You'll-
tell
you
me?
will for sure know the moment I'm talking about when you see the film. It is very clear what I'm talking about. And I mean, it's a fine movie. It does the thing Disney's movies do. You know, it's a lot about branding and a lot of, I thought, very ugly CGI.
Terrible
Very
CGI.
disappointing CGI.
The dad, Edgar Ramirez from
Oh yeah,
Yes Days in here.
Who
and just
plays Lope
under-
de Aguirre, the
yeah.
character from Aguirre, the Wrath of God, which is why that movie's been on my mind lately. Horrible CGI.
Yeah.
He looks like, so if you remember from Pirates of the Caribbean 2 when Bill Nye looks like a squid, he looks much better in that 15-year-old movie than
Agreed.
Edgar Ramirez.
100% agree.
Much like night and day better.
I have seen that movie a lot of times, and I never remembered Bill Nye being in that movie.
He's a squid face.
He's Davy Jones.
Bill Nye the Science Guy?
No, Bill Nighy,
Oh.
British comic character actor.
Here's the thing I want to say about Jungle Cruise 2 is a lot of promotion by Emily Blunt and Dwayne The Rock Johnson. They're out there selling it hard.
Oh yeah,
And the reason I'm interested in this piece is this was day and date release,
yes it was.
much like Cruella and Black Widow. But Cruella and Black Widow, Scarlett Johansson, and then potentially now Emma Stone are suing Disney. And I don't
I've
get the
heard
sense that Emily
Blunt is thinking about it.
Oh, really? Because they're still out there, get their smiles on. They're doing the promo rounds.
One of the things that people have been saying about Scarlett Johansson, because she was out there promoting Black Widow pretty hard, people are saying she was establishing good faith. And Emily Blunt might be doing the same thing.
Yeah. And I'm interested in your perspective on. Oh, go
I
ahead.
will say, though, Black Widow and Cruella, I think both underperformed relative to what people potentially expected. 34 million isn't like a crazy amount of money, but I think it counts as an overperformance for Jungle Cruise. I think people were expecting anything above 30 is good, and it hit 34.
So, Care, many of the stars now in roles going back, like, I don't know, really probably to Jack Nicholson and Batman when he got a sweet back end deal. He didn't get a bunch up front, but he got a huge back end, which probably ended up being like a $50 million payday for him.
60, I think.
60, Robert Downey Jr., similar $75 million payday, all back end for performance. So, that became the thing for stars to
If you're
do.
the lead in a popcorn movie that's expected to do big box office, a very large percentage of your paycheck is in the form of back end points.
Okay.
So Scarlett Johansson feels she's entitled to something like $50 million, or
To be paid
$50 million
Okay.
because Disney shirked her on doing a day
Her
day-and-date
contract
release.
said the film would open exclusively in theaters,
And it did not.
They apparently did not renegotiate that. So when Wonder Woman
of course she's
1984
got a
comes
case.
out, when Wonder Woman 1984 came out last Christmas, Warner spent like a month talking to Patty Jenkins and Gal Gadot and Chris Pine's people, being like, "We want to make sure that you're happy. What do we need to do?" Disney was just like, "We're Disney, fuck you," and released the movie. And she has
Like
a case.
they're gonna. I think it's a good case. Like,
They're
do
gonna
I
settle.
do I
They're-
feel
they're
bad?
not taking this to court?
But like at some point they got to get ahead. They can't just keep settling. Like they've
So
got
how
to get
much did
ahead
she
of this.
make?
I don't know what her standard. Like probably I would guess 10 million. I don't know,
She made a
15 million. Yeah, I'm
shitload
sure
of
she
money.
made. She's fine.
But the way I would look at it, this is if we set a precedent that you have to honor your contract, period, it's going to be very good for actors who don't make the kind of money Scarlett Johansson makes.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm on board with that. Again, just follow the rules.
Yeah.
Don't cheat her
And
out of it.
I
even
will
if
say,
it's a lot of
in
money.
Wonder Woman 84, I don't know what Chris Pine got, but
They ended
I
up-
think
I've
$10 million
heard-
bucks.
I've heard
Patty
like
and,
in the vicinity of like $100 million had to be paid out to those three
oh
people.
really?
Wow.
Oh
Cumulatively.
wow.
Like they spent a lot of money to make the talent happy on Wonder Woman 1984.
Yeah, it's kind of bad. Like I feel like Disney's really hurting themselves here in Marvel by extension
Kevin
too.
Feige is pissed.
Yeah.
He is like so angry at Disney.
It does
He's
like
talking
it's
very
sad that it
openly.
devalues it, but it does devalue it from a Like we were just talking about Suicide Squad. Are you going to go see in theater? Like folks like us, like we're interested in seeing it at the big screen. We appreciate that big screen experience for a movie that deserves that kind of treatment. But I think most folks would rather just sit at home.
I think so. Although I will say my parents really want to see Jungle Cruise. And when I told them the cost to get Disney Plus and then to do the premium rental for Jungle Cruise, it immediately turned them off.
Yeah, it's high. It's high. It doesn't turn Rob off though.
It's it's $5 for the month and then $30 or $7 now. So it's like $37 to see it. And they just did not have any interest in spending that much money on one movie.
And you were what, 2.5 on this?
2.5.
That's actually very favorable.
I was at a 3 until the mid-film reveal happened and it completely lost me.
Okay. Speaking of reveals,
oh my
Rob,
goodness.
tell us about your movie.
This is one I wanted to see when it came out, and that's The Craft, A New Legacy. I'm a big The Craft
You like
fan.
Nev Campbell.
No, I like witchcraft. Like
And
witchcraft
Nev
to me,
Campbell.
and I like
That's
Nev
why you
Campbell.
like Robert Eggers' The Witch so much.
Also. Is Nev Campbell in that one? I'm just joking. No, I just really like the story of like after The Craft came out, I researched Wicca and I wanted to learn about Mana.
Of course you did.
And all these things. Little did I know, like this is all like about female. Like it was. I don't know if it was intended to be. The Craft was intended to be like a movie about female empowerment, but this movie takes that to a whole other level.
It's a 90s power girl movie.
Yes.
I think there's pretty.
You think that was intentional?
I'm sure.
Yeah, like it about toxic masculinity and like a little bit
toxic
too.
masculinity.
It wasn't
something.
It wasn't a
people talked
thing.
about in the 90s.
But this movie
Makes it a thing.
leans into that hard and like overleans into it, in my opinion. Like it hits you over. It's not subtle.
We have not yet had a piece of cinema that deals with toxic masculinity in a way that is even vaguely good.
Yeah, it's not subtle at all.
It is a theme that causes filmmakers to completely forget how to.
It's
make
like
movies.
she's pulling a book out of the bookshelf and it falls to the ground and it's like toxic masculinity is the title.
Yeah, it follows it's very similar.
I mean,
beats.
is that a joke? Like, are they playing that for comedy?
No, not at all. No.
So it follows the same beats really as the first, except a bit in reverse. A girl moves to a new city. Something in her past has led her mom and her to move out, and mom has a new boyfriend now. Her stepdad, or not the mom's stepdad, has remarried, and he's the daughter who has potential latent witchcraft powers she doesn't know about, has moved into this household. The dad's a bit,
He's off.
David Duchovny looking.
David Duchovny looking like a bobblehead
bad.
of himself.
Yeah.
He looks, that's the best way to describe it.
He
He looks like
is
a bobblehead
60.
of David
I can
Duchovny.
visualize this.
Yeah.
And moves in with now his family, and she comes upon.
He's got some like
3
weird ass sons too. They're just
weird
like
sons,
really
3
weird.
sons. So we don't know what's happened to the mom in that situation. But anyway, she goes to school, meets 3 wannabe witches. Something happens to her at school. They become friends and they unleash their powers together. The difference of this movie is how the first
bad.
one was like, let's use our powers selfishly. Like these are very responsible.
That's not fun.
It's not fun at all. It's not fun at all.
Wasn't
No.
fun.
I kept waiting for the turn. Like,
Yeah.
start to use this for evil. Start to use this so people die. Like, so it's bad.
And I was telling Carrie, it's like, who's the Faraza? I don't know how to pronounce her name.
Faraza Balk.
Yeah, who's that character going to be in this one? And
no one can compete with her.
yeah, she is.
No.
She just is the most batshit
She's
crazy
so
looking
scary.
person,
She's
and I
so
love her,
scary.
and she's awesome. In
She's
the
still
original.
alive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
What
yeah.
is she?
She's like, she was like 23 in the 90s.
She seemed like she was destined for a rough life.
So
though.
the lead character in this, and I don't have her name. Sorry. She does a decent like Robin Tooney kind of like vibe, but the other 3 girls already like forgotten, and I feel bad because yeah, it was such a better ensemble in the first one than this one, and
Gosh darn it.
that would have made the cut.
Do you not have The Craft on your list?
No.
Well,
But I don't think
'cause
it
it's my number
qualifies.
one,
I don't think it
so.
qualifies with my criteria.
But
so.
it's terrible. Disliked it. It didn't. I was hoping maybe there'd be some Easter eggs from the first. There's like some small things, but the music in the
Barely.
first one was really good as well too. They tried to do some musical things in here as well. It didn't
don't need
work
to
for
talk
me at all.
about it.
Yeah,
Skip it.
Just
Skip
now
it.
that it's available for free on streaming, still recommend
Still skip
pass.
I agree.
Yeah. Have you seen that, Tim?
The new one, no.
Okay.
And I saw the old one so many years ago that I don't even know if I should count.
Not worth it. But you can find more details about all the movies we have watched at our website, alternateending.com. That's alternateending.com. Before we head to our break, you might be wondering about ways to support the show. Get early access and exclusive content, make us watch a movie, pick your own episode topic, and more from our Patreon site. We do have one new Patreon and one returning Patreon. We have Eric S. Martin joining and yourself coming back. Welcome and welcome back.
And welcome to Movie Club. I should call out as well at the $3 level Movie Club. So that entitles you to our monthly meetups, which are trivia. And I think this month it's going to be a bad movie night. Spoiler alert.
People are thinking, I heard Mac and Me is now on
Mac
Prime.
Mac and Me seems to be
a contender.
Clearly what is in
We'll go to our patrons.
It's going to be a poll. It's going to be a poll.
That will definitely
so get
be
out there.
on there. Speaking of things new to Alternate Ending, we launched a little something.
Discord.
A little Discord. And
There's
it's
been Discord in this podcast since we started. What are you talking about?
That's true.
But this is better.
Yeah.
I was thinking, what a terrible name for a community building service like Discord. Like, you're going to scream at each other and feel full of hate.
We always thought that the community of Alternate Ending wanted a place where they could openly just kind of chat about things, not relying on like a post to generate the discussion, kind of center and ground the conversation. But I had no idea it would take off.
It's
quick.
hopping.
Yeah, people are out there. They're chatting about everything. If you're at all interested
anyone's talking about.
It's tough to keep up because it is fast and furious out there.
I agree. The other thing that I really like about it is how there's must be a level of humility within the AE community, because it's like, so once you get in there, so go out to Discord, go out to the website, you can find the link to sign up. I'll send the link out in a couple other ways. But once you're in there, so there's different channels, and within the podcast channel, folks were out there talking about their own movie podcasts that they do, their own podcast. And there's people that have these.
People are self-promoting on our Discord?
Yeah.
Don't worry, I banned them.
Oh,
I banned them.
what? No, that's awesome. But how did I not know that other people had podcasts that were out there to listen to?
We have the best podcast.
No, this is not true at all. I've listened to some other ones where they don't talk about
people are
willies
sharing
and
their
stuff.
Letterboxd accounts.
I feel like
I love it.
the fact that we just had a 90-minute conversation about My Clone of Willy is why we have the best podcast.
I don't know. That I think is a personal opinion, but there are so many great things and conversations happening out there. And again, people posting their letterboxes. I am just really loving chatting with everybody more. So like Rob said, get out there on Discord and you can sign up. It's free. It's easy.
You get some access to Tim here. This is the channel, Tim, that you are on and you are engaging in.
I am trying to go on once a day. I did miss Tuesday the 3rd. I was bad. And I'm giving myself leave to not go on Sundays because it's the Lord's Day and I need to worship.
We know you're so godly.
I am.
So, but it is something that's really easy for us to get out there too. And so I'm just having a ton of fun chatting and getting to know everybody a little bit better too, just outside of movies. So,
and
it's been
if
fun.
nothing else, there's pictures of everybody's cats and children. So you totally need to.
You can't go wrong with that.
Totally need to hop on that.
And then, what else? We have some other new things coming up. Did you want me to talk about some of the podcast changes?
Yeah, I do.
It's just, sorry, this is just a lot going on right now. So very other exciting thing. I teased this a little bit in Discord as some sort of reparation for the fact that, is that the wrong word? That felt like it's weird. Tell me if it's the wrong word. Some sort of reparation for being so late for the podcast delivery, to share out the fact that we would, we're going to be switching up the podcast format a little bit, starting probably in the beginning of September. I know over the course of the last, 6 months to a year, we had scaled back to doing every other week episodes with our top fives. And we're going to be mixing that up a little bit and coming at you weekly. So Monday, not Thursdays, but coming at you Mondays with new episode format. So every other week we'll be doing our regular top fives, and but just isolating it really to what's up and top fives. And then our other episode on the off weeks will be really focusing more on the worth mentioning. So diving into what we've been watching, and it might be something a little bit more ambiguous in terms of maybe covering deep diving into a movie, maybe chatting a little bit.
Like the Scarlett Johansson suing Disney.
Right.
But
Topics.
Either way, you will get Clone of Willy type conversations to start every episode.
If I have to make my own phallus every week to make sure we have content to talk about, I will do it.
Yes.
I feel in your Patreon level.
It is. And if I have to for the listeners, I will do the clonalabia or whatever it was.
I just thought of a really great new Patreon reward tier. I'll talk to you guys about it after the show.
Sounds good.
I don't
But as
want to
long as
know.
we're talking about cloning things, it made me think of a way we could probably make a lot of money selling things on our Patreon.
Okay.
The merch store.
Merch store.
I will not.
Apparently, one of the
No.
Jersey Shore people uses Clone Willy's to sell himself to his
Oh.
adoring fan base.
Wow.
It's got to be Mike.
I think is there a Vic?
Oh, there's a Vic.
I
Sure.
think it's Vic.
I don't want you to do that for any amount of money. You just you're a one Willy man.
I will do it for $10.
Your standards are low. So we're really excited about that extra episode and really coming back weekly to be able to all three of us get together. And again, maybe it'll be a little freeform, just talking about maybe topics in film or questions that come up throughout the week. So we're excited to start that up back in September.
Also want to thank all of our listeners who support the show and make their Amazon purchases through our site. Doing so is easy. Just go to our website, alternateending.com, click on our Amazon banner, and seamlessly go about your purchases. All proceeds go to making our show better. Since our last episode, here were the things that were purchased. Got a Gillette Pro Glide Value Pack, men's razor blade refills, the 8 count.
That was you.
You know when you
No, it
got
wasn't me.
when you got to use a razor blade,
You're shaving your... Oh, you got to shave.
you got to shave. You don't want
You
the
got to
hairs.
shave for it. Oh, that would be
It
terrible.
would be bad.
Yeah.
It'd pull.
I did just
It's
do
less
a
realistic,
a
though.
little
Less
trim.
realistic.
I did some trimming in the chest area. I did a little waxing on the shoulders and the back.
It's like self-waxing or
No, I went to a professional.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You forgot to share that. Rob had a body wax.
Sharing that now.
Yeah. You guys are both more groomed for sure than
I am
I.
so blessed to have a partner who doesn't care if I have back hair. I can't even tell you.
Yeah, I don't care
No,
either.
Carrie doesn't care.
No.
It's just, it's more.
I love to
of
run
me.
my fingers through it, twirl it, braid it, and now I can't. Now it's just all smooth.
braid it. I also, speaking of things, I should have got this on Amazon. I got a new water pick toothbrush tin. The water flosser.
I heard about it when someone was picking up a DVD.
Did I seem stressed? Did
Mildly.
Did
Oh
I?
my gosh.
Okay. I told Tim
These
about
pearly
it.
whites have never felt better.
I told him you have a
It
problem.
looks like no matter how much money you spent on that water pick, it would have been a bargain at twice the price.
I pulled into Tim's house and I think I was about like this close to a mental break. And so when Tim came out, I was like, oh, I know. I'll just unload all of my rage that I have towards you for all of your purchases that you made while I was out of town onto Tim. And then when I drove away, I felt better because I had communicated my frustrations.
It's become a thing, right? So you leave and then you return and you find that I've made hundreds of dollars worth of purchases on
and they're
things.
just absurd.
It's my way of coping.
You guys both have very high salaries. It's fine.
It's stressful for me because we're trying to like live the simple life, like make sure that our kids know that we can just play with a deck of cards
You
and a
bought
dice.
a dog by accident. You are not trying to live the simple
We're trying
life.
to live this simple life. Oh my gosh.
And I go back
But
there's
you
just-
did totally have like Medea hair when I saw you.
and
It
I can
was-
tell
it
you,
was
it's the same hair, only in a ponytail now. I was stressed. So yeah, your water pick that you bought for your teeth, which are you 90? I don't think so.
Your teeth are gorgeous.
Thank you.
Ignore her.
I've just been
Whatever you
really
spent
into
on-
practical purchasing lately. Like, and that's a
Practical purchasing.
practical device that you need to maintain your dental hygiene.
Get a Colgate soft bristle. You're just over the top on everything.
Just thinking back to what Alice said to you, our youngest daughter said to you the
What
other
did
day.
she say?
Oh, your tooth is a little yellow.
You heard her say that?
She's like tapping on your tooth.
Here's the thing
That's
why
unhygienic.
she's
Don't let your
here
daughter
is
put
why
her
she's
fingers in
so
your mouth.
rude. I have a yellow. It's not because I don't brush my teeth.
I know.
I have a yellow tooth.
Yeah.
So every time she brings it up, I want to be like, listen, you little brat. It's genetic. I fell probably like 40 years ago. I fell on it, slipped on the ice. Like, but you can't do anything
Tooth
about
is
it.
bruised.
Well, no, but it's not like a dead tooth. It's not like it's gray. It's just like a little bit discolored. And she calls it out all the time. You know what? I'm going to start using your water pick. I'm going to start using it. I'm going to see. Can't believe you called me out for my yellow tooth. Now I'm very
I
I
didn't.
believe he called out your daughter.
I was
for calling
saying
you
the
out.
conversation was humorous as I sat next to you and listened to her. It's like, Mom, your tooth's a little
Okay,
yellow.
let's
Yeah.
just keep saying
Okay.
it. Water pick.
Water pick, boy. Yes. Books
You
and
know whose
textbook.
teeth are not yellow at all. Is yours.
Thank you. We had a book and textbook purchased. Locke, Political Writings. Is that Thomas?
That is John.
John
John Locke.
Who's
Thomas
Tom Locke?
Paine.
Thomas Paine.
Yeah.
I think Tom Locke is the movie. Locke is what I'm thinking. Anyway, Hint Water.
Tom Hardy is Locke.
Tom Hardy is Locke. There we
true.
go. Thank you. Hint Waters. I'm actually drinking a Hint Water right now. We also had a number of different Hint Water flavors purchased.
I love it.
We had Now Magnesium Citrate, 400 milligrams, veggie capsules. Those are
Getting
good for
healthy,
you.
yeah.
You don't eat your vitamins. You just got some collagen vitamins. You're not mowing down. You got to eat like 6 of those though, right?
I know. I got some collagen ones because I thought maybe that was good for my skin, but I'm not good with routines or doing things repetitively.
Like brushing teeth.
Or, it is a genetic thing. I fell.
You fell 40 years ago.
Yeah, genetically.
4 years before
Genetically,
you
I'm
fell.
clumsy. I fell, and now I have a little bit of a yellow tooth. Not enough that I want to do anything about it. So
What did you fall onto?
My tooth.
We also had some home products. Aunt Martha's 28-inch by 28-inch floor sack dish towel. That's a big dish towel.
That's a big ass
Huge.
dish towel.
Yeah, a set of 7. I don't know what
Big
you're doing with
dishes,
those.
yeah.
It's a
Big
flour
dish towel
sack
with a
dish
beach.
towel? I don't know. We also had 100% Egyptian cotton, 1,000 thread count, ultra soft pillowcase.
Oh.
That sounds nice.
Those are gonna, you're gonna just slide right in.
I just want to rub every part of me over that.
Ooh.
Had a couple of anime books, Kindle ebooks purchased. The Anime Machine, A Media Theory of Animation. The Anime Encyclopedia. That's the 3rd revised edition, Century of Japanese
I
Animation.
know who bought those because I was asked for recommendations on Discord.
Oh, look at that.
So get book recommendations and other things on Discord.
Also had Sefer Yetzirah, The Book of Creation in Theory and Practice. I mispronounced it, I'm sure. Also had on Kindle ebook Luke's Jewish Eschatology, The Natural Restoration of Israel in Luke Acts. No idea what that is.
That's a real page
It's,
turner, though.
it's about the books of Luke and Acts, which were written by the same author who may have been named Luke, and how they refer to Jewish theological thought in the early Christian period.
Oh, very nice.
So
Also had
good.
Jewish Christianity on Kindle ebook, and then Targum and the New Testament. Good old Targum.
Can never
Targum.
have enough Targum. That's for sure.
We had a 36-piece sticky traps for fruit flies. We got the fruit flies back again.
Let
we
us
had
know
the
how
little
those work out. We've got a little juice packet that they
Yeah.
land in. It's very sad.
I will trade you your fruit flies for my spiders. I swear to God.
Oh, I don't know. Both are pesky.
Someone else has some Japanese beetle issues. We had some traps for those. We've got some beetles. We got the ash borer beetle. Our tree was just taken care of for that. Blu-ray DVD Confessions of a Serial Killer in Region 2. I don't
All right.
believe that's our region.
That is not our region.
We're region
Yeah.
8.
We're region 1.
No.
It's better
Exactly.
America.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought they meant like where you plant things, you know?
Look at this. A VHS was purchased.
I love
Till
this.
Death Do Us Part.
Oh,
Is that
remember VHS.
What's that
Yeah.
about?
I don't know if I remember that movie.
It sounds like a slasher title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Video on Demand also had Stephen Tobolowsky's Birthday Party rented.
Okay.
Also, The Donut King rented. Not
Nice.
familiar with either one of those titles. I know
Neither.
Stephen Tobolowsky though.
Why?
He's the guy who steps in the ditch at Groundhog's Day, or in the puddle over and over again. Or no, that's Bill Murray. He's the insurance
He's the one
salesman.
who laughs.
He
Yeah.
makes movies after that? The guy
He's a
who steps in the puddle?
Big time character actor.
Oh.
Yes. He's in
Who
lots of
knew?
things.
Who knew?
Absolutely.
right.
Well, when we get back, our top 5 ensembles. Stephen Tobolowsky, ensemble in the movie The Sneakers. And welcome back to Alternate Ending. We are talking about our top 5 ensembles. Care, what makes an ensemble for you?
Ooh, just right out of the gate. It could be lots of things.
Is there is 2 an ensemble? 3, 4? Is there a number in mind?
I mean, yeah, I think so. I mean, I started off with number 1. I had Mr. Holland's Opus. I think that was a lovely ensemble. And then I went to Devil Wears Prada because I think what she's wearing in that is also very nice.
Yeah, for me, an ensemble is the colors need to match. They
Yep.
complement. They don't. It's not the same color, but
Exactly.
they complement. You also really need to be careful to make sure the fabric works because sometimes
Textures.
you need the textures to look right.
I agree.
So it's
I agree.
people overlook that.
I
They
completely
wear all
agree.
These poly cotton blends. They're not thinking in those terms.
I was actually going to do this for my list, and then I thought about it and was like, No.
Oh, that would be awful. The listeners would hate you
It would be
even more than they do.
once.
I know. I feel
it would
hated.
Be funny
Yeah.
once, but it would be a very tedious bit.
Yes, I completely agree. And so I got it out of my system there. So
Well,
thank you.
I was going to make the same joke, so thank you for taking that heat away.
Sometimes we line up because it was kind of lame. So that's good that I took that.
Well, we're both kind of lame people.
Can't disagree. I say this is a group of actors or actresses or actors, whatever you call them. Performers, people that perform, viewed as the whole rather than individually. So they're viewed as a team or a group whereby they have equal roles and story arcs. So there's no distinguishable lead.
Wow.
If you were to pull one out, like the movie could still go on. So, and for me, that meant more than 3.
Okay. I'm aligning, my picks align with your definition there. Now, as far as ranking goes, how did you decide? Like, is it
most
favorite actors within that or most enjoyable movie?
Most ensemble.
Most ensemble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most where I was like,
so would a movie of equal enjoyment,
Yeah.
but the cast was maybe more, in your opinion,
Ensemble.
more celebrated or like higher celebrity level?
Is it fame level
Fame.
for people? Is it number of people? Like if there's more people, does
gosh.
it rank higher?
you know what I really did was just I sort of copy pasted and then I was like, this feels like
The
a number
definition.
one. The
Yeah,
definition.
the definition that you
feels-
read. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, no, I completely did
You
not
copy
Google
pasted
that.
someone else's list.
I
is
did.
what you meant.
No, I can't. When I said equal roles and story arcs, that was
I
all
mean, if I had
me.
a dime for every time you use the phrase story arc, I bet I'd be able to buy a stick of gum.
I know, but I honestly came up with that myself.
It was very good.
Was it?
Yeah, it was very
I
good.
thought it was going to be the thing that just rolled off the tongue and you guys were going to be like, oh, that was amazing.
Tim, before you go to your definition that
It's
you're
the
going to
same.
be using, no, I'm sure, maybe. You mentioned something before we even started recording, and you said, "Oh, I should," because we were joking about, "Oh, are scrubs, or are they?" That sort of thing. You mentioned Wes Anderson. What I noticed was this is like a director thing. A lot of times, like there are
Definitely.
directors who specialize or somehow are able to draw in big talent.
And it's difficult because some of my favorite directors are those directors. So I had a humiliating pile of choices here. Could have come up with a very, very credible top 5 using only things that didn't even make my top 10. So I did limit myself to 1 per director. I will say that was a very easy choice to make very early on. I have basically the same definition as Carrie does. It needs to be 4 people at least who are all more or less equally weighted in the film.
Yep.
It doesn't need to be every character is equally weighted to every other character, because I don't know if there's a single film that would ever pass that threshold. But there needs to be at least 4, because if you can have 3 leads, I don't feel you can have 4 leads. They're not leads at that point. So it needs to have at least 4 people, none of whom is clearly more important than the rest. Even if those 4 are more important than others, I'm still going to count it.
Do either of you include cameos as part of your ensemble?
No.
Like would that like
once you pass the threshold, sure, but I need at least a group of at least a group of 4 people who seem to have equal weight, and a cameo by definition doesn't.
Well, I think we're all on the same page. I was curious, Tim, if based on how I noticed that it seemed to have like a director trend, if you were going to go by director as well too. So that's interesting. What do you think it is about like a Wes Anderson or Robert Altman, or Soderbergh or something like that galvanizes people, like makes people want to do these? It just seems like it would be crazy. Some of the movies on this list, I don't know how they got all the actors that they did.
I mean, I think in the case of someone like Altman, it's that the actors know that he's going to let them experiment and he's going to let them do work. It's not going to be like, I have an idea, you have to do what I want. Actors love that. I think with someone like the Coens, actors know we're going to get a good part with good dialogue, even if it's a very tiny role. I think the same is true for Wes Anderson. He has some really phenomenal, like one scene character writing. With someone like Soderbergh, I think it probably gets closer to like Altman, where it's just like it's going to be an experiment. We're going to have fun on this set.
Nice. And did you do anything about your enjoyment of the film, or was it purely based on the ensemble itself?
It's based on the ensemble itself. I have on my list 5 movies that I think are all capital G great, so that makes it a little harder to rank by movie. But it's in terms of how impressed I am by the cumulative amount of acting.
So I didn't judge it necessarily on the acting, but cumulative. I guess I went more on fame. Like, how did they get all these people in this freaking?
I know what
movie?
your number one is then.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. So let's start with you though.
Okay. Well,
And
my 5.
Will we have crossover care?
Ooh, that's tough. If you guys have good lists,
I will bet you
I would say.
$1,000 that neither one of you has any crossover with my list. It's at least possible neither one of you has seen anything on my list.
Yeah, based on the submissions from
The site.
the site. Yeah, I'd say that's probably about right.
All right. Well, my 5 are also capital W wonderful. So I'm just going to jump right in with my number 5, which you guys forgot about. I love this movie. I watched it a million times. And here's another thing. I can't even really tell you who was in this movie. I can picture all their faces, but the reason why they're such a great ensemble is I don't even remember who they are anymore, but they are all people. And they all had stories.
That feels like the mark of a good cast to me is when you can't even place their
You're going to know. It's young versions of a lot of people that grew up to be even more famous. And you know why they got so famous is because they were all so uniquely different, but they came together in detention.
Oh, thank
sure.
God.
Is it on your list?
No, I thought you were going with It Chapter 2.
Oh, no.
I didn't know you had feelings about this movie.
I love this movie. I love the fact that I love when people can all be really different. You can have dandruff. You can be a sports person. You can be a nerd. You can be all these things. And yet everybody can come together for everybody has something that carries them together. And this is 1985's The Breakfast Club.
Nice.
This is, I remember, isn't it Molly Ringwald in there?
Ringwald is
Who's
the
the other
princess.
guy? An Estevez? Is an Estevez in there?
Estevez.
Emilio
yeah.
is the
Who's-
is he the
He's the sport
He's the
guy.
jock.
He's the jock, yeah.
Who's the one I like the least with the dark hair? He's
Oh,
kind of
sure.
mean, but he has a sensitive side. He's been hurt. That guy.
Yeah, I'm not going to get there.
Little nerd guy, and then
I thought that
dandruff
was
girl.
also so nerd guy is Anthony Michael Hall.
Yes.
Yep.
I thought Emilio Estevez was the one who
Nope.
was-
There's the guy that lights the match, and he like runs his hands
No,
through it.
that's a lady who does that.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. Who's the guy in the leather jacket?
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Jay something.
Jay
It's gonna come to me.
Seagal.
No.
His name is Jay
Oh my
Seagal.
gosh, this is terrible.
Jason
And
Robards.
No.
I think you guys actually watch movies. This is weird.
I have seen this movie once and I don't.
I want to say
care
like
for
it's
it.
like Jude Law. It's like something
it's
like
definitely
John
not Jude Law.
Capellos.
Yeah.
that. No, Judd Nelson. That's what I was.
Judd
Nelson.
Yeah, Judd
Nelson.
Nelson.
Of course. Good old
Who-
Judd.
There we go.
That was
He's in there.
awful.
He's the worst. And then everybody comes together. And I love this movie. And again, they all could be standalone. They could be together, but they all have their individual stories, which makes this a great ensemble.
Yeah, can't disagree. I wouldn't have expected you to have this on your list.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's maybe not. I guess they were top of their. Were they top of their game, like close to it?
I mean,
at that time
certainly
frame?
Estevez and Ringwald were
So what is
like
this?
were teen movie royalty at this point.
85,
I
sure.
feel like Ali Sheedy might have also been.
Oh, Ali Sheedy.
Or was this the movie that made Ali Sheedy? I was 3. I don't know.
It's hard to say. It's hard
But,
to say.
but certainly, these are all John Hughes leading lights. Like these are people who were in movies that people liked in the 80s.
And John Hughes
Yeah, because
cannot
no,
do wrong.
Ali was in War Games,
Okay, yeah,
and then shortly after did Short Circuit.
right.
which was so
Okay.
much fun.
Well, that's my number one. Not on your lists,
No, it's
but
just you're just gonna have all Brat
basically,
Pack,
basically.
all Brat Pack movies.
I think I love Brat Pack movies. So speaking of brats, what's up for you on number 5? Tim?
Well, I just want to quickly give an honorable mention to a film that I really wanted to put on my top 5, and I couldn't do it because I just my top 5, nothing could be taken off of it. But I just want to throw a nod towards 1933's Dinner at 8, which is one of the big, like everybody who's under contract at MGM gets thrown into this movie type of movies. I think it was MGM, or I don't know, maybe it was Warner. No, it's MGM. So it's like this huge cast of thousands, not cast of thousands, but like all of their A-listers in one movie, dinner party going crazy, George Cukor film, really terrifically funny. This was the second movie of that kind in Hollywood. The first one was Grand Hotel from 1932. Dinner Date's just better. So that's why it was almost on my list and I just couldn't pull the trigger on it, but I still wanted to give a little love towards it. My actual number 5, I mentioned the Coens. After a great deal of horribly looking into myself to decide what movie has the best ensemble, ruling out the films, as we said, where there's like a clear lead. So like a thing like Miller's Crossing has a clear lead. I ended up with 2008's Burn After Reading.
Oh, I wasn't sure if you liked this one because I
love
was
this
going to
one.
say
This is
that's
one of my favorite Coen movies.
It's got the biggest star power. I would say
I
one
think
of the biggest star power.
So here's the headline cast. George Clooney, Frances McDormand, Brad Pitt, John Malkovich, Tilda Swinton.
What?
Richard Jenkins also has in smaller roles Elizabeth Marvel and J.K. Simmons. J.K. Simmons shows up in like 2
I've
scenes.
never even
but
heard of this
They
movie.
are 2 superb scenes. So this is a movie basically about an ex-CIA analyst played by John Malkovich who's deciding to write his memoirs. And they're terrible and turgid and full of like a lot of sensational like self-puffery. But the disc containing his memoirs gets lost and then found by a pair of unbelievably stupid gym workers played by Brad Pitt and Frances McDormand, who become convinced that they have uncovered some really important CIA secret documents, and they decide that the correct thing to do would be to blackmail the CIA into giving them lots of money in exchange for them not leaking these documents to the press. And it's basically just this comedy of errors about how everyone involved in the culture of Washington, D.C., both in the CIA and just sort of in the city as a whole, is too stupid to be allowed to live. And I think the Coens are the people who sort of made an art form out of, isn't it? George Clooney's a handsome, elegant man. Wouldn't it be funny if he was also just a complete dumbass? This is like the most perfect version of that thing that the Coens do. He is just
So is it a dark comedy then?
it's very dark.
yeah, it's a
Okay.
yeah,
It's a very
Coen
dark
comedy. Yeah, it's like,
Okay.
But I would say it's also maybe their funniest single movie. I love this film.
Brad
a lot.
Pitt's having a good time in
You
it.
didn't have this
Favorite
one.
Brad Pitt film.
No.
It's definitely my favorite Brad
Why
Pitt
is it not on yours, Rob?
We'll get to it.
You got some other things.
I have other things.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Like
So what are
what?
some of your other things?
Oh, it's my turn. I'm going to present mine in a bit of a different way. I'm going to start listing out all the people.
Ooh,
I like that.
I
You
like
like it?
that.
Okay, so
who
let's see
gets
how long
first.
it takes to
Fortunately,
get
I
there.
just did the only one I had where I can play that game.
So let's start with some of the cameos because
Okay.
these are smaller portions of this film. But let me just
Come on,
build
Carrie.
up to it.
I got this.
Tobey Maguire,
Spider-Man.
no, Alicia Silverstone, Lance
Clueless.
Batman
Bass,
versus Forever.
Jason Bateman, Jennifer Love Hewitt, John Voight,
Scream.
Tom Cruise,
Mission Impossible 5.
Matthew McConaughey, Christine Taylor, Tyra Banks,
It's Christine Taylor.
who else? Nick Nolte, Bill Hader, Danny McBride. Now we're getting to the core group here. Steve Coogan, Ben Stiller, Jay Baruchel, Jack Black, Robert Downey Jr.
Is this a Marvel movie?
Carrie didn't even know Robert Downey Jr. was in this movie.
Have I seen this movie?
Yes, you have. It is Tropic Thunder, 2008's Tropic Thunder.
Oh.
Everyone is in this movie. Everyone is in
I
this
do
movie.
not remember any of those cameos from this
Yeah.
movie.
I don't
The
remember
Tobey
that.
Maguire one's particularly funny because I think it opens with that and him winning an Academy Award for playing like a priest.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
he's
so
in the
he has
gay
that-
priest
he's the
movie
gay
with
pr-
Robert Downey
yes,
Jr.
yes.
So wait, let's go back to not remembering Robert Downey Jr. I can't remember what happened. He ended up playing,
He's doing blackface.
yeah.
Yeah.
And Rob thinks that I'm the only person in the world that didn't know that was Robert Downey Jr.
I'm pretty sure you're the only because the movie even sets up how he's like this method actor.
Yeah, I just thought it was a black man that was acting, like doing method acting, not that he was in a costume.
Let me just show you the picture.
I still think that's a perfect looking black man.
Yeah.
I would not think that is
Well,
Robert
it's
Downey
not.
Jr. I know. I think that is convincing.
Just remember, there's a scene at the end where Robert Downey Jr. like removes his bottom like lip piece that he's been wearing to play the role, and Carrie's like, that was Robert Downey Jr.
That's amazing.
Oh, gosh.
I'm confident that
To
if
be
I were,
fair,
yeah.
I think this came out the same year as Iron Man, so he did. He wasn't in the zeitgeist
big,
as
big
he
year
is
for
now.
Robert
Yeah,
Downey.
big
I
year.
think again, I don't think I'm alone in that, but I'll just stand here.
right in. If you two were
it's not
fooled.
like it was the primary focal point of the film's marketing campaign.
And a little bit of a tie into your pick, screenplay written by Justin Theroux, Ben Stiller, and a Cohen. Yeah, Eaton Cohen. Did you say Eaton? Did you pronounce it
Eaton isn't he is a Cohen, but he's not one of the Cohen brother Cohens.
Oh, he's not.
There is a
'Cause there's
Joel
a- there's a
Cohen
third
and
Cohen.
an Eaton Cohen,
Yes.
who are not Joel and Ethan Cohen.
Well, there you go.
Joel and Ethan Cohen are different.
So
people.
I was wrong.
So you're right, but you're wrong that he's a Cohen brother.
I'm right and I'm wrong.
You're right that Ethan Coen wrote.
That feels
So just a huge
Correct.
ensemble. Like if you add in
that's insane. I
Yeah.
didn't realize that.
the number
That's
of
crazy.
cameos that they managed to get for this, people just having fun. It's. I need to revisit this film because I feel like when I need to laugh, and then Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise is my pick for best in show in this movie.
Oh yeah,
I loved
He
his
has a
performance.
performance that is out of this world.
You want to know another
Playing
movie?
Redstone, right? Summer Redstone or something
I
like
forget
some
which
sort of
executive
some
it
sort of
is.
studio
Like a
exec.
specific studio executive, yeah.
All right, number 4. Do you care?
Number 4.
Top
Number
that.
4. I'm going to top this.
You're just going to
This-
go St. Elmo's Fire now?
Who?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
16 Candles.
Exactly. Oh, no, I'm not going to do that because that was my Breakfast Club pick. That falls into that category with Ducky. I just
Really quick on St. Elmo's Fire, just really quick.
yeah.
St. Elmo's Fire, basically the same cast as Breakfast Club, but then you add in
Pretty much.
Rob Lowe, Andrew McCarthy. But yeah, Judd Nelson, Ali Sheedy, and Emilio Estevez, all in that film.
I feel like the better ensemble would be the one that doesn't have Rob Lowe in it. Yes, I agree with that.
And Demi Moore.
So,
But,
ooh.
but whatever.
So
Joel
you agree
Schumacher.
with me?
Yes.
So speaking of better movies, what if I told you that there's this movie that's out there with the cutest little ensemble? I wanted to marry 50% of them when I first saw this movie. I think that it was cute. It was like a coming together of just like the cutest little boys. And there's nothing better to me than an adventure over the summer where you uncover a dead body.
Sure. I was curious if you're going to stand by me.
It is.
It's
and
like
I love
it's
it.
like a kid thing. You got like a younger vibe with this list.
Oh, really?
Younger ensembles. Yeah.
I hadn't noticed that yet, but
It's a great ensemble for their age.
Oh my
particularly.
gosh. I mean, so believable. To me, that movie was so immersive of like, I just feel like I'm in this movie. I feel like I'm just one of the boys walking along looking for bodies. And then I felt like with the leeches, and it was just like living summer experience because that had not Chris O'Donnell, but the guy that I always call Chris O'Donnell.
Jerry O'Connell.
Exactly. That had River Phoenix in it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Will Wheaton,
Will Wheaton. Who's the other guy who had some troubles?
Corey Feldman.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think Kiefer Sutherland's in this.
Kiefer
Right?
Sutherland.
Isn't Sean Astin in this, or am I misremembering that?
Sean.
No,
not
that's
Sean
That's a
Astin.
Goonie.
That's a
Goonies.
Goonie.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a Goonie. Would that count for this list?
Goonies.
Gosh darn it. I love
I
the
don't know.
Goonies. So I
do you
had
love the
Stand By Me.
ensemble?
I
Do you
love the ensemble.
Yeah.
Again, these guys need each other to make the movie propel forward.
Absolutely. Oh, who would you say best in show in that ensemble?
Chunk, but it's Chunks from the Goonies.
Yeah, Chuck's a different movie. I was trying to
But
figure out
who's
what
the
you're saying.
chunky kid?
You
Chris
think
O'Donnell.
Jerry O'Connell.
Jerry O'Connell.
Really? I think River Phoenix.
Oh,
is
River
like-
Phoenix.
I
too.
honestly
Far
think
and
I
away.
would also go with Jerry O'Connell.
He's
Really?
so cute.
Oh my
You
gosh.
just
Only
want to
time
pinch him.
in Jerry O'Connell's career I would make that distinction, but I think so.
He really got it together as he got older, and because he married the gal with the blonde hair,
Okay.
Christy
Apparently that's
Brinkley?
a sign of worth.
Christy Brinkley.
Yeah. It's a Rebecca Romaine.
Exactly.
Formerly
So I love this movie, and it's not on your list. I thought it might make yours, Rob.
with a cast of 4, but when you did you see my number 5?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
are
did
you
you
going to
hear?
just get bigger and
It's
bigger,
gonna
more
get,
and more?
It's going to get more. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to get bigger from there.
Well, before we get there, we need to go to my number 4,
Yes.
which I'm gonna play Rob's game.
Okay,
We'll see
okay,
how long
okay.
You get
I
there.
want to win so bad.
All right. Nora Gregor,
Uh-huh.
Paulette Dubois, Mila Paraili,
Mm-hmm.
Odette Talazar,
Oh, Odette.
Claire Gerard,
She's been in too many things.
Anne Meillan, Lise Elina.
I don't like her.
Are we there yet?
I'm getting there.
I'm,
One
of
more.
course, talking about 1939's The Rules of the Game by Jean Renoir.
I was going to guess that because I was looking at the list of from our patrons.
French-ass people. So, you got yourself a movie about just a whole giant chunk of people being like pressed into a French country house for a weekend right before World War II. The upstairs and downstairs, so the idle rich and the very, very busy and often very, very horny downstairs staff all sort of mingling and interacting in this sort of big, bustling representation of all of French and by extension all of European culture in the 1930s. Gave serious thought to disqualifying this one on the grounds that Nora Gregor is clearly the biggest role, but I don't think she's the only main character. I think there are several other main characters as well. So it's a whole bunch of French character actors. I mean, I don't think there's terribly many people in here who would qualify as like obvious like superstars or whatever. A lot of people who worked with Renoir throughout his career, Renoir being one of those directors who I think it's fair to say didn't always have ensembles this big, but certainly liked groups of people. Like that's one of the things a lot of his movies are focused on is what happens if we take like a half dozen or a dozen different people and from different walks of life and just put them together and shake them up. And I feel like this is the best expression of that in terms of everyone in this film just feels so very vividly lived in and very specific. And you get this clear sense of who they are and how they fit into the society around them. And it's just a very beautifully living human ensemble.
Has the director done any other type of ensemble films?
Oh, many.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
Like, one of the things he loves to do is just gather up different people. Grand Illusion is probably the other.
I've heard of that one.
Not only is it his other really well-known film, it's got a pretty big ensemble. Others like Le Bitumen, which is a famous film he did, certainly is not an ensemble film, but he did quite a few, I'd say.
Oh, very good. One that I need to possibly see.
You guys would bounce off of the rules of the game.
Oh.
I hate to say it. Maybe you wouldn't. It's a very lovely movie.
All right, I'm going to continue the game.
All right.
Okay.
Going from the bottom of the IMDb list to the top of names that I recognize. We have Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Oh, Inception.
Brick.
Tim's pretty close. Emmett Walsh.
Who?
I recognize. Who passed away, I think.
Emmett
recently.
Walsh?
Emmett Walsh. Jaden Martell. Catherine Langford. Christopher Plummer.
Wait, you're going so fast. Hang on, wait.
Knives Out.
That's right. Knives Out.
I was so close.
Also have Lakeith Stanfield, Toni Collette, Don Johnson, Michael Shannon, Jamie Lee Curtis, Ana de Armas, Chris Evans, and of course Benoit Blanc.
You feel like everybody had equal representation in that movie?
They spent time. I would say Daniel Craig and Ana de Armas, like I'm probably mispronouncing her name, had the biggest focal point, but they spent time building out each of the characters because it's a whodunit.
It's a whodunit. They spent a lot of time with each character. I'd also say that even though Daniel Craig certainly gets the second most screen time, he is not a character. He's just like a vessel through which other characters pass. So I think this feels very legit to me.
Yeah, and just fun performances. Anytime when you have this type of the reason I not cringed, but had a reaction when Tim said Brick. It's the same director, Ryan Johnson, as Brick, who's a formidable ensemble director himself. Has a lot of experience now having done a Star Wars, which he'll never do again. But has just not recently, but in the last couple months, I think it's Netflix has paid him handsomely
a quantity of money that just seems
I don't understand
thoroughly unreasonable for two Knives Out.
I think
sequels.
$300 million.
$300 million
to here's $300 million. Go make a sequel and then a third, and then
That seems like a lot.
There's no return on investment
I could do it for cheaper, for sure.
where this makes sense.
No.
But I understand the next Knives Out is already starting to pull together another cast.
Like starting to show up on the internet. Yeah.
So who knows? That one may end up trumping this one. I gotta say, we're doing a lot of best in show stuff for this. Don Johnson was quite the surprise in that first one. I think just more surprising. Like I wasn't expecting a lot. I have fun with Chris Evans. Is fun.
Chris Evans would probably be my best in show pick here.
Yeah. But
I didn't like that movie as much as you.
You didn't? You sent your folks to go see it?
I know.
I was not super into it.
I don't know why I wasn't. And I love whodunits. Like, I don't know why I was a little cold on it.
It's not a satisfying whodunit.
Yeah, it ended up being
wanting it to be a good whodunit. It's not really.
Let's compare Knives Out 1, Knives Out 2 cast really quick to see if you think this
okay.
If they're upgrading here. We've got Janelle Monáe, Leslie Odom Jr.
You're going so fast. Janelle Monáe, Leslie Odom Jr. Okay.
Kate Hudson.
Okay.
Edward Norton. Jessica Henwick from Love and Monsters.
Okay.
Ethan Hawke. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Catherine Hahn. Dave Bautista.
Okay.
Who him and Daniel Craig have fist to fist in the Bond films.
Okay.
And that's it.
This is a huge downgrade.
I wouldn't say a huge downgrade, but it is an unmistakable downgrade.
Yeah. I mean, you had what's her face in the first one from Halloween.
Yeah, but Ed Norton, Ethan Hawke, Leslie Odom Jr., Kate Hudson, Janelle Monáe. My gosh, what a lineup. Dave Bautista. It's good stuff. Okay. Different. I love it. I have so much fun with the cast. I love getting to know all the characters and their quirks. That's what I love about ensemble movies is getting to spend time with like each one.
Well, that sounds
very
good.
well written.
And you know what I like, Rob?
Yeah.
Good movies. I like really good movies.
Okay.
And what I like even more is when the Patreons that support AE give us good movies to watch. And this was such a surprise.
I am so happy that Saragosa Manuscript already made one of your top
It
5s.
is quite the ensemble, that's for sure. I wouldn't know who to pull out of that movie. That's what I know. Chabulski, I would take him out. But I loved this movie. It is old. It's an old movie from a year that you might know, Tim.
Okay.
Because I don't have it written down. And this came from Patreon Julian DeBerry a couple years ago, and I have never forgotten it. I talk about it in circles where people know about movies, and I loved it. This is a movie, 12 Angry Men.
Oh, very nice.
Sure.
Very
Sure.
nice.
This movie was a movie where I'm watching it. There's these jerk bags that are in a room. They're trying to figure out whether or not somebody...
Jurors.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Thank you. Jurors.
Jurors.
It's just terrible. You have such a representation of what even happens today, even though this was from a year that was a long time ago, where all these guys are sitting in a room trying to figure out whether or not somebody is guilty or not based on the evidence. And it's the whole like crowd and herd mentality of just like damning somebody for something. Like we all want to get together and get on the same page, and people just wanted to get out of the room and have it be over with. But really that would be the injustice, is like, is this person really guilty, or are you just trying to get home for a baseball game? And so the cast in this, I think it's who is the Peter, the main guy who's the actual good one, Fonda.
Henry Fonda.
Henry Fonda.
Peter Fonda is Henry Fonda's son.
Okay. So it's Henry Fonda, who is just a real delight in this one. But this movie, if you have not seen 12 Angry Men, is absolutely this like crazy ensemble cast of people. And you feel they're like sweating, they're hot. It's like a black and white, but you feel the heat in the room. You feel as though you're sitting in the room with these men as they're trying to come up with a decision, and you're angry right along with them, and you're wanting to like yell at the TV. It's just a really immersive, I keep saying the word immersive, but it's a really immersive experience to watch if you've missed it.
Look at you having some taste. I love it. Yeah.
Who knew? I know.
Angry
I
Men.
told you after your Knives Out episode.
Name another person on the ensemble.
Oh, you know what? There's a guy that turned into a guy with white hair when he got older that I recognized.
Yes. From While You Were Sleeping.
Yes.
I know what you're talking about.
Rob, you knew who I was talking about, and that means a lot to me. It's the grandpa from While You Were Sleeping is in that movie when he's younger.
What is his name?
I can't tell you that. That's too much.
Just a beloved film of
They
yours.
are all anonymous. They're only referred to by their number, so that's fair.
Exactly. So I loved that movie. And again, thank you, Julian. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I loved it.
That's nice. That one stuck with you.
Yeah.
All right, Tim, what do you got for us? Are we going to play the game again?
No.
No.
No, I'm not gonna.
Don't do that to us.
Embarrass all of us. This is what happens when you have the entire world crammed into one tiny little stagecoach. And it is Stagecoach, the 1939 film by John Ford.
My dad loves this movie.
In which we have, I'm just going to go through the cast in build order: Claire Trevor, John Wayne, Andy Devine, John Carradine, Thomas Mitchell, Louise Platt, George Bancroft, and Donald Meek. Just a cross-section of humanity, wastrels and prostitutes and very prim, fine ladies and old Southern gentlemen, and these sort of hypocrisies of nice society looking down on the sort of outcasts of the world, and how people find dignity and try to like fight for their right to be part of the world, all pressed into this very metaphorically laden stagecoach, just merrily charging through the American Southwest. This is one of my favorite movies.
Really?
I adore this movie.
Is this a dad movie though?
This is such a dad movie.
Yeah.
Like, has this come up?
Never. Tim's never talked about Stagecoach.
We don't have many things that would cause me to bring up a 1939
horse movies. It didn't make that list.
Well, it's not a good horse movie. It's a stagecoach movie, and if we had good stagecoach movies, then I would have had at least.
Is John Wayne the main person in this?
There really isn't one. It really is an ensemble. It was John Wayne's first big breakout film. That's why he's not first billed. Claire Trevor is. And you can tell that John Ford really wanted to let us know that we had something special. Because when John Wayne shows up in the movie, there's this really famous like swoosh in where the camera just kind of like plunges towards him really fast. So it's clearly a like, look at John Wayne, he's super cool. But it really is the interplay of all of these characters is the focus. It's not any one individual character. And some of them do not survive the stagecoach journey. So it wouldn't be fair to say that all 7 characters get equal attention. But certainly it is very democratic, which is kind of the point of it, because the point is that it's just
equal,
trying to look at this like cross section of humanity dealing with each other.
Rob's never seen this, I bet.
I've not, and I just kind of forgot about westerns as like there's probably a lot of
Magnificent
good
Seven.
western ensembles.
Westerns are one of those things I don't get to talk about much on the podcast. I adore westerns; they're one of my favorites.
And there's got to be other Westerns that have fantastic ensembles. The
Magnificent Eight.
Yeah, the Magnificent
The
Seven.
problem with a lot of Westerns is that they are like the gunslinger and then all the people around him. So they often have phenomenal supporting casts, and I could see my way clear to saying, well, that's an ensemble. But since my definition was like, no, there can't be a clear lead, a lot of Westerns have a clear lead. I was thinking about High Noon, actually, for my list, but High Noon has a lead.
I haven't seen the original Magnificent Seven, but that's a pretty stacked cast there, too.
Oh, yeah.
Charles Bronson, man, Yul Brynner. Good stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Where are you at? Are you at 2?
We're on number 3.
Okay.
Getting serious now.
It's going to be on my list.
It's going to be a serious. It should be. This is
Okay.
one of your favorite movies. I think your favorite movie from
It's
that
my
year.
number 1.
Okay, we'll see.
I absolutely do not see how Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade is an ensemble.
Oh, it for
Carrie can make it
sure
work.
is.
I'll start with a bit of a voice cameo, and then
Okay.
we'll work our way
Oh
up.
gosh.
Richard Jenkins.
Oh, the guy. Wait, hang on. It's the ghost. Oh, wait, it's the one with the ghost.
You're not going to get it
Ghost
from that.
drummer. Ghost
No,
drummer.
you're not going to get it from that.
Is it Shape of Water?
No. Sorry, I got to go quite a bit of ways up
Okay.
to get to a named person here. Oh my gosh, I got to go up a bit. Billy Crudup.
Oh,
Watchmen.
Rudderless.
Yeah, that's a good guess. Nope,
Oh,
not Rudderless. I'm gonna go.
Is he?
Sorry,
Is he
moving
blue?
up. Stanley Tucci,
Oh boy.
Devil Wears Prada.
Liev Schreiber,
Schreiber.
Rachel McAdams,
Oh, The Notebook.
Michael Keaton,
Mr. Mom.
Mark Ruffalo.
Oh, the kids are all right.
No, see what I think. What you do is when I name an actor, you just name
Yeah.
a movie that they're in.
I've forgotten
versus
everybody that you
every
said
other
already
person.
before that.
This is the movie Spotlight from 2015.
Oh gosh, how did I almost put this on my list?
And the reason, the cast is fantastic, but it's a tour de force of acting.
I forgot Billy
I
Crudup
feel
was
a
in
lot
that.
of nominations came out of this for acting.
Did you like this one?
I liked it.
I did
liked it.
too.
don't
I
adore
love
it,
this
but
one.
I like it.
Yeah, it's got a pacing that's just basically just kind of flatlines. Like flatline's the wrong word. Like it's just at a
It's
constant, and it doesn't have a lot of ebb and flow. But yeah, to assemble a cast like this after you just made that movie about shoes with Adam Sandler is amazing.
he presumably had this
The Cobbler?
cast ready to go before the shoe movie had blighted. The
You guys
world.
both hated The Cobbler. Didn't
How
you?
can you not hate the Cobbler?
I mean-
what is there to like?
It's not Adam Sandler's worst movie.
What is?
It might.
Oh, I don't know. Probably Jack and Jill. I don't know.
That's a good
Or whatever. Yeah, any of the ones where he does it with that production company when he brings his friends in and stuff like that.
Any of the
'Cause-
Adam Sandler wanted a
Yeah.
vacation in
Exactly.
Jamaica
Oh
movies.
gosh, I hate those. But this one is just again tour de force of acting. I can't even pick.
This is a good pick. I can't criticize you for
Can't
this
pick
one.
a favorite. It's got to be Mark. I love Mark Ruffalo in this
Oh,
movie.
Mark
Are you
Ruffalo.
excited for the new Tom McCarthy film, Stillwater?
So I was because I like Carrie, like Matt Damon, but he's in a bit of trouble. He said some things. I told Carrie a little bit about what he was saying.
What did I say? Don't tell me.
Oh yeah, you did say that.
Don't want to know.
But yeah, so it's damaged it a bit.
I get it.
I'm interested. It's a bit.
I enjoy and praise movies by actual literal Nazis, and those movies are actual literal Nazi propaganda. So I got no problems in that. Tim.
So you guys are going to both check out Stillwater.
Well, the movie looks boring to me,
Oh.
so I will probably wait for home video.
It looks like Taken, but with no fighting.
It looks like Oscar bait Taken.
Yeah,
and,
Oscar bait
and
Taken.
that sounds so bad.
That doesn't sound great.
What's funny is I think it's supposed to be about like loosely based on the the big case where the girl may have killed her roommate in France or Italy.
Oh, I remember that story.
Yeah,
I don't remember,
but it's from the perspective of the father trying to like go and figure stuff out. So I'm actually curious, like if she's going to end up being he's going to all this trouble only to find out that she was guilty. But yeah, small Oklahoman, small town Oklahoman
Okay.
dad.
I bring it up just because Tom McCarthy's good at directing actors.
I
but
feel as though I'll like
Stillwater
it.
looks pretty turgid. to me.
Even a low key Taken, I think I'll still like. So I might check
But
it out.
Spotlight on its face too, like again that flat. It is kind of like it's a procedural. It's somewhat boring. Like what makes it tense and interesting is the
actors.
It's the actors. Like they make it bounce and
I
lively.
ran into the same exact thing with my number 2, where like it could have been Just Another Summer. It could have been, chasing boys around. It could have been jumping in the water. It could have been snacks and learning about the birds and the bees with your
Yeah.
mom. But
Well, every now and then you get You get a movie that comes along.
We're just so I really didn't
That
like
was the main thing to do, Rob.
it was mean. Here's the thing though, it works for me. I like feeling like you know me somehow, like psychologically that's working for me. I really if I'm being
Has
honest.
this showed up on 10 top 5 lists yet, or are we still in
Oh,
the
I thought
single
have I done this before? I don't think I've
at
ever
this
used
point,
now
I
and
can't
then.
figure
I
out.
think you got called out for doing this.
Really?
specific film.
Yeah, I can't tell now if like this has taken has come ahead of now Indiana
Really?
Jones. I
I
feel
can't
like
remember what this could possibly have been under
you know, if
before.
we had some sort of list spreadsheet where we could go back and
Yeah.
see.
We should
Yeah.
assemble one of those.
Yeah,
we should like
that should happen.
We should have a
Movies
paper
that,
trail.
movies
Yeah.
that we've talked about.
Write that down. Write that
All
down.
right.
That we should
Should be
have
a
a note.
takeaway.
Yeah. I didn't know that I had used this movie before, but I do love the movie now and then. I love it so much. And it is
It's a good ensemble.
absolutely an ensemble. They're 12-year-olds. There's 4 of them. They're cute. I'm Chrissy. You're Christina Ricci. Tim's
Are you saying because my boobs are developed?
I'm
That's
not
awful.
defining on why. I think if anyone, Tim is probably the Demi Moore character.
I think that tracks.
Yeah. And I
you.
love this movie. And again, like I said, I wasn't a huge fan of you for the last few days. And right now in this moment, I've turned a corner, as you remember this
I was
movie.
trying to see if the younger actors, actually there's a lot in here. If the
Oh my
younger
gosh.
actors have
Rosie
surpassed, but
O'Donnell?
no, the younger ones, if the younger the kids who, I wonder if they've surpassed the fame of their adult
I don't think so.
personas, but no.
No, because you have
they have
Demi
not.
Moore, you have Farrah Fawcett, you have
Farrah Fawcett. What
she
are you
plays the
talking about?
blonde girl, right?
No,
Who is that?
that's Melanie Griffith.
Exactly. They're the
Yes.
same person, practically.
Rita Wilson.
Rita Wilson. She's
Bonnie
doing
Hunt's in
music
this.
now. She's a
Ooh,
musical
I
artist now.
I do like the Bonnie Hunt.
Yeah, and Bonnie Hunt.
Yeah,
Such
it's
a good
really
movie.
just Thora Birch and Christina
Oh, and
Ricci
Thora Birch.
who've really gone on to things, and then of course Devin Sawa.
Ah, he's famous.
Hank Azaria's in this.
Oh yeah. See,
And it
Rob,
is-
see, you're
yeah.
on board now. I can tell you're on board.
I mean,
This is
it's an ensemble.
absolutely something that you have to see if you've missed it. And again, these little girls work together in a special way.
When are our kids going to see this?
It's hard for me to say. There's a little content in here that I don't want to
What
bring
if your
up.
children don't enjoy this movie?
Gosh,
Will you throw them out of the house?
I will definitely like them less. I don't know if I will just banish them immediately, but I definitely will question everything about my parenting if they don't. But I think they'll love it.
I think if you're watching a movie like this as a kid, you realize, wait, am I going to turn into an adult like that? Like I think that
I
has
never
to run by your
considered
mind.
that.
Like,
No.
Wait, so she was prude. Now she's smoking cigarettes. Like what? That doesn't happen to you? when you
Never
watch this?
considered
Okay.
that. No. I just always wanted to be Christina Ricci, but knew that I was Chrissy.
You are absolutely Chrissy. That's the Bonnie Hunt character. Is that right? Yeah, that's absolutely you.
And I just aspired to that. So it was goal setting
Nailed
for
it.
me. It's at least I'm self-aware
Yeah.
that I'm a loser. But anyway, I love this movie. So that's my number 2. And my number 1 is going to line up with Rob's for certain, maybe Tim's too. So let's see what your
We'll
number
have to
2
find
is,
out.
Tim.
So I am going to play the Rob game.
Okay.
First off, because there's only 4 people. And this is why
Okay.
my number was very specifically 4.
Okay.
And it's a 4-way acting tour de force that has not been matched elsewhere in cinema. These are 4 individual performances, all of which are among the best ever filmed, and they're all 4 in the same movie. And that's just a thing.
And we've seen
Wow.
this. Rob and I have seen this movie.
I don't think you have, but I've talked about it, and there's a review of it on our website.
That's not gonna help
if
us.
You've read the reviews on your website, maybe you'll recognize the names of Carrie Silvan,
Mhm.
Ingrid Tulin, Liv Ullmann,
Oh, yep.
and Harriet Anderson.
Is it with an Irish
Shortcuts.
accent? Shortcuts?
It is with a Swedish accent.
Oh, okay.
Nashville. I'm just
The
reading.
film is Ingmar Bergman's Cries and Whispers from
Oh.
1972, in which Harriet Anderson is playing Agnes, who is dying,
Huh.
and Ingrid Tulin and Liv Ullmann are her 2 sisters who hate her and hate each other. And Carrie Silvan is the family maid, who is the only person who's nice at all. And it's horrible, and we watch just horrible people doing awful things, and it's beautiful, and it's 90 minutes of that.
I don't want to nitpick on your criteria, but is it a spoiler to say that it's no longer an ensemble? If you know what I'm saying?
Midway through the film, it ceases to be an ensemble.
Yeah. I don't want to nitpick.
Ooh.
I don't want to nitpick
Good call. Good call.
on your own
but-
criteria.
It counts.
You know what? Your criteria sounds like a lot when I'm making criteria.
I'm just saying, I
It
built my
just
criteria around making
counts.
sure this film was on it.
Okay. Say the title one more time for me.
Cries and Whispers.
Cries and
Igmar, another
Whispers.
person who does the ensemble. Like,
He loves-
I think
actually,
there were
this
a couple
is not
other.
his only amazingly well-built 4-person chamber play. He also has Through a Glass Darkly, which would be a very strong candidate for this list.
So
Could have done 5 Ingmar Bergman films without breaking a sweat. Got to be honest.
as you know, I like to discuss movie news as well too. Igmar did Marriage Story, right?
He did Scenes from Marriage.
Scenes for Marriage. That's what I meant. Scenes for Marriage.
Son of a bitch.
Sorry. What are your thoughts on the remake? That's happening
Negative
with
thoughts.
Oscar.
My
Oscar
thoughts are
Isaac.
bad. My
Oscar
thoughts
Isaac, though.
My thoughts are that it would be like saying, "Hey, we have a really cool Mona Lisa. How about we paint another Mona Lisa and hang it in a Citgo in fucking Tulsa, Oklahoma?"
Okay. Oh, it's going to be a TV miniseries.
Well, the original was a TV miniseries.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Here's the thing, Tim. Knowing that painting is in a Citgo in Tulsa, Arizona, are you still driving to Tulsa, Arizona to see it?
No, well, I'm going to watch the miniseries, obviously.
That's what I meant.
Because it's fucking Oscar Isaac and Jessica Chastain. And it's going to
I
be
see
so
what I
bad.
said.
Gosh, I'm
You're
looking
gonna
at
watch
it.
it,
I'm
though.
looking at some screenshots. It looks like they just literally copied. Everything.
It looks so shitty. It looks so fucking ugly.
What are they going to call it?
Scenes from Marriage.
Scenes from Marriage.
Isn't that like copyright infringement or
Well, they
something?
bought the rights.
Oh, they bought
It is
the
a
rights.
credited remake.
Okay.
What horrifies me is if you IMDb search for Scenes from a Marriage, the 2021 remake
It's
is
the
the one
one
that comes up
up.
first.
SEO optimization, Tim. That's a thing.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, that is a carbon
Isn't it?
copy.
Yeah.
That is literally
Like you could set
the
the two
image
things
from
yeah.
the movie.
Oh
and they
my
just copied
gosh.
it. This movie can eat my ass.
Hey, clone an ass.
Oh, yeah.
And then everybody can
use
munch
the
on
vulva
it.
cloner to clone an asshole. That
Found
would
on
work.
AE.com.
So I'm going to another huge ensemble. As I'm looking at it, not as stacked in the cameo department, but a lot of fun performances.
Okay.
I wouldn't say it's equal. I'd say 2 of the cast members. It's more of a kind of focuses on the 2, maybe 3, maybe 4. Actually, no, it focuses on a lot of folks here. But this movie's just got just a ton of fun and like sex appeal to it. Like it's just
Ooh.
really sexy. It's
Is
a sexy
it?
movie.
Let's see what you think is sexy.
All right, Carl Reiner,
Excuse me. I need to
Elliot
step out.
Gould.
I thought for sure this was going to be your number one.
Yeah, I think we all know what my number 1 is.
I apparently don't. 'cause I thought for
Bernie
sure
Mac,
this was gonna be
the
it.
late Bernie Mac.
It's my number one.
George Clooney, Brad
Dillhole.
Pitt, Casey Affleck.
This is a number one movie. This
It's
is
number 2. It's close.
No, this
There's
is a number
A
one.
bigger
Well,
ensemble. list
the
of
question
ensemble.
is, which Oceans is it?
the only Oceans.
Because Oceans
thought about-
12 also has Catherine
No,
Zeta-Jones.
that
yeah,
doesn't
I
count.
thought
It's a
about
better
it.
film.
Did they lose anyone? No, nobody's
No,
lost. It's just
no.
an ad.
Did you just say 12 is better?
12 is better than
It is.
11.
That's false.
That is
that's
accurate.
That's a false
I don't know
statement.
if I feel that way.
Most people don't, but I'm a film critic, so I'm right.
Yeah, I don't feel that
They
way.
lose Julia Roberts and Catherine Zeta-Jones in 13,
Okay,
but they do not lose anyone.
so
from
it's just
11
a
to 12.
+1 on the
Just a
Catherine
+1.
Zeta. Maybe then there's. Oh, but then you also gain
You also gain Albert Finney
and the French guy.
and the French guy.
Oh gosh, what's his
What
name?
is his name? It's
love
It's
him.
not Matthew Almond. It's the other one.
Pierre
It was from
Oh my God.
Irreversible.
Francois.
From Irreversible.
You
right?
tell us about Ocean's 11.
I just love it, and it's
There's
Brad Pitt.
the best movie of all
It's your
time.
number 1, right?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, everybody's got a place. The characters are fun. They play off one another.
Heists.
They give each other a hard time. They
There's
give
a
Matt
love
Damon
story.
a lot of a hard time. It's fun watching them pick on him as kind of the new guy.
Do you feel like after this heist movie came out, like I now use this though as a benchmark for heist movies? So
It's very easy to do that.
yeah, and now I watch, like even when I watched the lady version of it, I was like, I really wanted to love it, and I was like, meh, well, it's not Ocean's 11.
That's a good ensemble there.
I know, but I just nothing stands up
Minus
to this.
Rihanna. Sorry,
For
Rihanna.
whatever reason, like the music or score that's in this makes you feel like it's like Pink Panther-y. I don't know, that's not a thing, but like it feels, you feel the movie too. Like it feels like a heist movie. It's just, I love it.
But there was a little bit of, I mean, and it's the same director, Soderbergh, but the chemistry too between Julia Roberts and wanting to win her back from Andy Garcia, and you hate Andy Garcia.
You hate him. Yeah. He looks so mean. And
then Rusty or Brad Pitt's character is just Rusty. So cool. Just always eating.
Always eating. I love that. I love that. I love that. That's one.
Do you feel like that was a note, or is that something
that we know for a fact that Brad Pitt came up with that on his own?
I'm just gonna eat stuff.
Just little snacks.
That was all Brad Pitt, and Soderbergh loved it. And
everybody's so sexy.
Yeah,
everybody's so sexy.
You just saw another Soderbergh, No Sudden Move, another great ensemble.
One of the reasons I don't have a Soderbergh is because I started getting very sweaty when I had to pick a single Soderbergh ensemble, and I could do it for the Coens. I could not bring myself to do it for Soderbergh.
I'm surprised. So Ocean's 11 does not, or 12 does not make your list for ensembles, though.
I mean, is it a better ensemble than Traffic and also No Sudden Move and also, God knows how many? I mean, he's a great ensemble director.
It's tough. It's really tough.
Smaller ensemble, Side Effects. Smaller ensemble would also be.
Side Effects is good.
I had it, Out of Sight, although that's kind of a 2-person movie, but he's good with actors. He's really good with actors.
Well, those are our number one, so now we're tapped out. So I'm curious.
That's not my number one.
That was number 2.
Oh,
that was my number 2.
That's right.
Yeah.
That was a terrible
I just wanted you to
decision.
stop talking.
I know. I'm going to sit back.
I'm just joking.
I'm back to where you were before.
You're going to join me on my number 1. I don't know what you're talking about. How can it not be your number 1? But anyway, we'll get there.
Okay. Tim, to you on your number 1.
So my number 1 was very obvious to me. We said ensembles, and I thought, well, what is the best ensemble? Obviously, there's no question what the best ensemble is. So rather than belabor the question of why I picked this, I'm just going to introduce the ensemble.
Okay.
The same way that the movie does in my all-time favorite opening credit sequence in the history of cinema.
Okay. What's happening?
Pause for dramatic effect.
Okay.
This isn't for dramatic effect. I'm about to talk for almost a minute and a half without taking your breath.
Okay.
Now, after years in the making, Robert Altman brings to the big screen the long-awaited Nashville with 24 of your very favorite stars. David Arkin, Barbara Baxley, Ned Beatty in Nashville, and the fabulous performances of Karen Black, Ronnie Blakely, Timothy Brown in Nashville, along with the spectacular Keith Carradine, Geraldine Chaplin with Robert O'Kee in Nashville, and the exciting appearances of Shelley Duvall, Alan Garfield and Henry Gibson in Nashville, and the fantastic Scott Glenn, Jeff Goldblum, Barbara Harris in Nashville, not to mention the terrific David Hayward, Michael Murphy, Alan Nichols in Nashville, and the all-time great Dave Peel, Christina Rains, Burt Remsen in Nashville, plus the incredible Lily Tomlin, Gwen Wells, and Keenan Wynn in Nashville. Be the first on your block to marvel at the magnificent stars with the magic of stereophonic sound and living color picture right before your very eyes without commercial interruption.
Wait, what movie is it again?
It's a Robert Altman film.
I'm just joking. I was hoping you say Nashville again.
That was
Nashville.
That's what I had in my lungs, and now I don't have it in my lungs anymore.
My face hurts because I have been gawking at you for quite some time.
So it's Nashville. How could it not be? It has to be Nashville.
Not seen this film.
I assume you hadn't because it would have been on your list if you had, because it's Nashville.
So what just happened?
I just read to you the 24 stars of Robert Altman's long-awaited Nashville.
But why do I also feel like you read it in a way that I might want to buy a couch or...
You should want to buy a greatest hits CD.
Yes.
Because that sort of is specifically a parody of.
Oh, I do want to buy something now.
It's my favorite opening credit sequence ever.
Who delivers it?
I forget the guy. I can probably.
But not anybody that would be.
He's not one of the 24 people.
Oh, he's not.
Let's see if I can get to that really fast.
Is he in Nashville? The guy that's delivering the lines? I would assume.
Well, he's like a Los Angeles-based radio announcer. He does not seem to be credited on the IMDb.
That's sad.
I could probably, I should have found it out because I was reading about this when I was trying to get a transcript of that, because that's obviously a lot of words. I don't know who delivers it.
All right.
A radio announcer.
This is a movie that other people have heard of and that you recommend that people see.
I think everyone who cares about movies should see Nashville.
Really?
It is the great American film of the 1970s.
Could I watch it with my dad?
Absolutely.
Your
dad would probably like it more than you do.
I bet.
It's about 24 people in one weekend in Nashville, Tennessee, just sort of floating around and crossing paths with each other. And there's the music industry and there's a political campaign. And it's just kind of this cross section of what's going on in the United States during this very fraught political period of time.
Do they come to, is it like Crash where there's something like that ties it all together, or is it just little vignettes of people's lives?
They all end the movie in the same physical location. The movie is sort of building towards this political rally by an independent third-party candidate. And the movie ends at his rally.
Well, thanks. I feel like that was a lot to read, and I'm very impressed.
Well, thank you.
It looks very 70s.
It's very 70s.
Yeah. Everybody's got the hair. Looks good.
Yep.
All right.
It showed up on a lot of people's lists on.
Did?
Yeah, on the site for sure.
People are they know movies. Speaking of knowing movies, Rob, I cannot
you don't know
handle
what
your number one is.
It's
I don't
the obvious one. It's the one. It's your now and then, essentially.
I said Stand By Me.
No. You ready?
Oh! Is it the one with the balls, baseballs, and the dogs that jump over
here
and
we
eat
go.
it?
Is it the one that was the number one?
The
on
Sandlot.
your list,
The Sandlot.
Possibly. I'll start with. I'll start a little odd. I'll do Tilda Swinton.
Oh, hang on, wait. Just go slower.
I'll go Angela Bassett.
Hang on, wait. Oh, hang on. Slow down.
Go
Where they're on the train.
William Hurt.
Where they're on the train,
I'll
Rob.
say Michael Douglas.
Oh boy.
I'll say Colby Smulders. I'll say
Wait, is Colby Smulders in it?
yeah.
I don't
Wait,
remember
do you
that.
already know what it is?
Frank
Oh,
Grillo.
I already
Wait,
confirmed it. He said
hey.
it was his number one a couple weeks ago.
Hang on. You got to keep going.
Maybe Tessa Thompson. I'll say next. Carrie Gillan, Tom Holland, Brie Larson, Chadwick Boseman, Benedict
Black Panther.
Cumberbatch, Paul Rudd, Don Cheadle, Jeremy Renner, Scarlett Johansson, Chris Hemsworth, Mark Ruffalo, Chris Evans.
I know what it is.
Yeah.
Is it Avengers?
It's Avengers Endgame.
Oh.
Has to be.
I didn't even think about that. Here's the thing.
Like, actors assembled.
Everybody could just
So
walk
many
away.
people.
So here's the thing. Is it an ensemble? Because right now, all those people could walk away and Black Widow could just be chilling and she can have her own movie.
I mean, I will say a lot of those people are dead until the third act of the movie.
Sure. That's a good point. But the core group is a group of larger than four.
If you want to audible the Infinity War, I'll let you. Plus, Infinity War means you don't have Brie Larson, who is just fucking sucking wind as Captain Marvel.
Yeah, why is it so
why
bad?
she's so bad, but she is bad.
Why is
We could edit it in if you wanna change it.
Did we overestimate how talented she was with
I don't think so.
with Room?
I think she's just not, because she's been good in other things than Room. I
Yeah,
think she's
like-
just not good when you put her in a green screen. But if you want to, I mean, Endgame and Infinity War have almost the same cast.
We won't tell
It's,
anyone, Rob.
you know what it is? It's that big finale.
Okay.
I just love that big finale. I wanna have a big poster of it in large so I can see everything that's happening in that still as they.
You should
Birthday
buy yourself a 4K
ideas.
disc player, and then
Oh,
you
it'd be
can play
nice. That would
Blu-rays
be
on it
nice,
as
Kara.
well, and not have to borrow mine.
Yeah, it'd be nice, Care.
Maybe
We
next
had
year,
that.
Rob. Maybe next year.
So yeah, I think I have to retire Avengers Endgame or just Avengers in general because it's been on too many lists. But I will only do so if Care retires now and then.
And then
I'm going to look back and see how many times I used it. I don't think it could possibly be more than once. So unless we did a top 5
Fair
Dev
enough.
and Sawa movies, I don't know when else I would have used it.
Actually, I'm trying to remember if it showed up on our top 5 sexiest movies because of the Devin Sawa
It
thing.
is so sexy. You're right. I forgot about
might have
that.
been one of the ones it was on.
Well, let's check back with the real winners of this, our listeners. Every week we ask you to submit your picks for our top 5. Based on those submissions, here were their top 5, lining up with one of our podcasters here tied at number 5. 12 Angry Men.
All right.
Oh my gosh. Kara has a pulse of the audience.
I thought for sure it was
tied
gonna be
with
too.
7 Samurai, which we
Okay.
kind of
I thought
obscurely
about that.
talked about.
I would say that there are 3 of the samurai who clearly are predominant.
then we have it tied at number 3, way tied at number 4, Robert Altman. I know now because I just looked at this filmography. It's Shortcuts.
Ah, yes. You could easily do a top 5 of Robert Altman's. It's just, to me, Nashville was obviously the case, and I wasn't going to do Altman films because that's boring.
Also at number 4, The Royal Tenenbaums, our first Wes Anderson movie mentioned. What's up, guys? No Wes Anderson
I
love.
don't like Wes Anderson.
Just didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, I think part of it, like, I thought about Grand Budapest, but, like, obviously that movie has 2 leads, obviously.
Yeah.
And my rule was...
If I was going to pick one, it probably would have been The Royal Tenenbaums.
That's the most ensemble-y.
Yeah. At number 4, Rules of the Game.
Never heard of it.
At number 3, Nashville.
Oh boy.
Number 2, The Maltese Falcon. Is that ensemble-y?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can see that.
All right.
Small ensemble, 4 people.
No, I was just thinking about Clue.
Like it.
Clue's a nice.
Clue. Or
Clue's
what
a fun
about
ensemble.
Good ensemble.
12 Little Indians or whatever? 12.
Oh, Agatha Christie. Yeah.
Yeah,
See,
yeah.
all those, the Agatha Christie, this is why Knives Out works so well. Like
Yeah.
those ones really lend themselves.
Whodunits lend themselves to ensembles.
At number 1, I think a surprising pick, Do the Right Thing.
Interesting.
Do the right thing.
Spike Lee.
I I don't
We saw
think
it.
I've
I see
It
that.
was a
I buy
signed
that.
movie.
I buy that as an
It
Of
was a
course
signed
I've
movie
seen
to
it
it.
then.
Yes, Carrie has seen
I
it.
have seen it. I love that one.
Our winner this week is Albie Hay, who had at number 5 any one of Nashville, basically any one of the Altmans. Godsford Park, Prairie Home Companion. At number 4, Lone Star.
Oh, that is a good movie.
Yeah. Number 3, Rules of the Game, like Tim. Number 2, Exotica. And number 1, I believe this is an Ingmar Bergman film, Secrets and Lies.
That is a
No?
Mike Lee film.
Mike Lee film, sorry.
You're so close, Rob.
I was just
so
trying to-
Cries and
close.
Whispers is the closest a title comes to Secrets and Lies.
Okay, sorry about that. Albie, shoot us an email at contact@alternatending.com for details on how to claim your free Amazon movie rental. If you want to win a free Amazon movie rental like Albie, be on the lookout for our top 5 movie posts on Facebook and Twitter. Share your favorite picks. In closing, I want to thank everybody for listening. Head out to our Discord. Join the conversation. People, how many do I have now? Like just in the time that we've been podcasting, I think I have like 50
New
Discord messages, not directed at me, but just people chatting
Yeah.
with each other.
And people who know about actual movies.
Yeah, not like me, not like
Right.
Carrie.
Exactly.
Yeah. Head out to Twitter. We're tweeting all the time. alternatending.com. I'll find all our movie reviews, podcasts, and more. YouTube and Facebook. You'll find all our videos. Subscribe to our podcast on iTunes or Google. And don't forget about Patreon. We will catch you next time.